Hello, everybody that's not in here yet. Come on in, come on in. I am going to share out the link. Share out the link. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Sorry, I'm just busy sharing out the link right now. I started a little bit early, and I just kind of wanted to make sure that everybody knew that we were live because this is just kind of a pop up live kind of thing. Hi, Survival. Good to see everybody. Okay. So I just thought I'd come up here. If anybody wants to come up, just let me know and I'll share out the link and just here to have fun. Hi Spring, how you doing? Howdy howdy. Um it's just me. Chris was gonna join us. He's working, but he was gonna join us from afar, but he decided to go to bed because he has been working in this hot Tennessee heat day and outside mostly. And so he's 112. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You go outside and there's like this veil like of heat as you walk out. It's like a curtain you have to like open up as you walk out the back door to let the dogs out. And the dogs kind of look at you like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. It's kind of crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. If somebody wants to come up and join me, that is great. Hi, Ginger Ninja. How you doing? Good to see you in here. I'm going to copy this link and see if I can figure out how to. Here we go. So if you guys want to come up, it's an open chat. We're just here to have fun tonight, just to hear to, you know, like old days. Courtney's not coming on tonight, so I thought, why not? I'll host tonight and we'll just have fun if you guys want to come up. So, so I was gonna go out this afternoon and work on my plants, but then I thought, oh, it's a little hot to even spray anything on them. I was gonna do some fertilizing and stuff, but next time I think I'll do it right before dark. But tomorrow's even going to be worse. Right now it's 85 degrees and 40% humidity, somewhere around there, right? Tennessee Bushcrafter. It is hot, hot, hot. Thank you guys for coming in, all of you. I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to come up and join me, that's great. Just been having fun doing a lot of reading, not doing a lot of filming. I need to do some filming, but it's just so hot to go outside and do anything that these old Oregon bones aren't used to this heat and getting used to it. Even though I do exercise, first thing in the morning, I go for my walk and I exercise and sweat like a whore in church. Let's just say that. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get the fat off. So recently, I've been dealing with a little hypertension. So I want to get my hypertension down. And yeah, yeah. Watering, oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've been watering a little later than that, but that's a good idea. The only problem with that is in this rental house that we're renting, my mother likes to sleep. My mother-in-law likes to sleep in, and God bless her heart. And yeah, I can't turn on the water until she's awake because it's really loud in her room and it wakes her up. So I have to wait until she wakes up. So what I've been doing is waiting until nighttime to water. So I've been watering a little bit in the morning and then waiting for a little bit and then watering, like a heavy load at night. So it's just what I've been doing around here. It's just been way too hot. I do spray, huh? Yep, they like the warmth for sure, Ginger Ninja. What can I say? Um, Hi, Steph. How you doing? It's good to see you. It's really good to see you. The link is in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, feel free and or let me know, and I'll put the link in again. I would love to have other people up here with me. We're just here to have fun. No topic. We're still waiting on house plans and fun stuff like that. My husband was going to join me, but he is actually working driving truck right now, and so he is um, literally delivering goods in this very hot heat, and he is worn out. So he did not join me from his truck, and here I am by myself. Yeah, it was 96. It was 97 here today. 98 where Tennessee Bushcrafter was, and yeah, about 80. We weren't as humid as you, I don't think. I think we were about 60%, but still it was like going out and there was a curtain of humidity as you walked out the door. Um, but right now it's a balmy 84, so not too bad now. I'm almost ready to open the window. Of course, our room here, our bedroom here is above the garage, and above the garage, of course, has no air conditioning. And so it's a little hotter in my room than the rest of the house, but still, that's all good. Um, oh, so yeah, it would be a little more humid there. Hi, Blue, how you doing? Um, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat again if anybody wants to come up and join me. This is just a fun night, just to have fun. Um, no pressure, just fun times, and you know how it is. Um, just want to enjoy our life. So there it is again. If anybody wants to come up. Hi, Green Granny, how you doing? How's your garden growing? My garden's surviving. Oh, some of my flowers are not doing so great, but most of those flowers are mostly predominant in spring, so they're kind of dying out. They cannot handle this heat. So, um, you know how that goes. They just don't like being up in the heat. And what was it? We have some daylilies aren't doing that great, and some something else wasn't doing that great. It just kind of flopped over in the heat, and it was really kind of sad. Hi, gardening wizard Q. Hi, Q. How you doing? 70 here. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. 70 is like my dream. That's what it would be at home home. This is home now. And I love it here in Tennessee. Despite the heat, I love it here. Um, so, hi Jimmy Pickle, how you doing? It's good to see you in here. Um, so we're just enjoying our evening. It is 84 degrees and it's probably 60% humidity, so it probably feels closer to 100 right now outside, but it is all good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's so nice to hear, Carner. Um, I I appreciate that you love our channel. So yeah, we how hot is it in your all land, wherever you guys are? I know that Steph is probably 80 some degrees there. Tennessee it's probably 80 some there. Q, how hot is it there? Jimmy, how are your peppers growing? I know that you've given so many people seeds and they absolutely love them. Hi Tammy, good to see you in here. Tammy, if you want to come up, the link is in the chat. I can put it back in if you can't find it. Um, everybody's welcome. I do need to see you first, of course. But there you go. So we're just here to have fun, just here to have fun tonight. And so hoping that everybody wants to come up. 70 Q, that's awesome. My dream temperature. I am actually really good at 70. And as a woman of my age, we won't go into how old I am, but let's just say I'm a woman of that age where you have these flashes of heat. And yeah, sometimes when they come on when it's really hot outside, it can be a little bit overwhelming, if you know what I mean. 84 here as well. Ohio, 82, not so bad. But you probably don't have the humidity here. 82 is pretty reasonable. I can handle 82. Oh, that's okay, Tammy. I understand. So how's everybody's garden growing in this heat? How's it all coming about in this heat? Sherry, good to see you. If you want to come up here with me, you can. Sherry is my sister. It's 70 degrees in Portland, which is decent for this time of year. And 84 degrees here, Sherry, with about 60% humidity. Blue, it's 60 degrees. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. I know my sister's a busy girl, but just a wealth of knowledge. My sister is Cher in the chat, guys, if you want to say hi to her. 70 in Portland. How are things going in Portland? How are my chickens doing? My sister has my chickens and my ducks. So it's good to hear from her and see how the chickens are doing. I guess I need to put that in there for sure. So anybody can hit that link, and as long as you showed your face on camera, you can do that from a phone or anywhere. can say hi. Um, so yeah, it's hot here, and my sister warned me about that. She says it gets really humid in Tennessee, but I still prefer it here. Yes, he is a stinker. That would be the stinker is Mario. I don't know what you call him. You probably renamed them, which is fine. They're your ducks now. And is he chasing the ladies like crazy? You put him with him with the goats by himself, or is he in there with the other duck? My ducks, they're both males, and so they like to chase the lazy ladies. Hi, Stock Explorer, how you doing? They like to chase the ladies in the chickens because they grew up with the chickens, so they don't know the difference. So they think they're both. Oh, okay, they're both in with the ducks. That's good to know. Still Mario and Luigi. That was a pretty good name for him. He's a stinker, man. He is a go getter. And Luigi is kind of like, I really don't, I'll do it because you're doing it, but you're my influence, and that's the way it goes. But as soon as this season is over, you can probably put them back together in the winter. Hi, Good Time Homestead. How you doing, Jan and Steve? Good to see you. Hi, Gulf Coast. Good to see you. How is Lily doing? Lily is the handicapped chicken. Um, oh, he tries to peck you too? Okay. Yeah, Luigi is really laid back. He's a good duck. And he's the easy one to catch. Like if they get out, you can catch Luigi, and then you put Luigi away, and then and then Mario's like, "Okay, I'll come along." Mom too? Does he peck mom too? Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. He's got new chickens to break in. How are the new chickens doing? My sister just purchased, she has young chickens. Are they in the pen with the regular chickens now? Oh my goodness, Ginger Ninja. It was 96 and it felt like 106. Yeah, pretty much here too. Yeah. Hi, Pineapple. How you doing? So, Pineapple, what is your name? I would love to know your name. Mom is not a fan of the ducks, or not a fan of Mario and Luigi. Oh, nice to meet you, Jan. I'm sorry I forgot your name. I'm the one that doesn't remember names. My husband is the name rememberer. Yeah, Lily always did that with the younger chicks because she felt like she had to establish pecking order because she gets picked on the most because of her handicap. And so I had a chicken that for some reason she got um, upside down, stuck by one foot in the cage one time. And ever since then, she's had a limp, and she doesn't seem to be in pain. She hops around, but she does get picked on by some of the chickens, and she gets picked on one by one of your older chickens. That is, I used to call her Scrappy, because she was, yeah, she is a very sweet, sweet girl, and she'll let anybody hold her. And yeah, the pecking order is real in a chicken coop. And I'm sure everybody said that's a homesteader said yes, for sure. My sister was a blessing to take on my chickens, and she's probably getting tons of eggs now. I don't know. Are you getting a lot of eggs? They're kind of at two-ish right now, so they might be slowing down a little bit. And it's not too hot there for them. So if you want to know about stocks, go see Stock Explorer. She's an awesome, has an awesome channel. I just had to give her a shout out because she's a good lady. And so is Good Times Homestead with Jan and Steve. For sure. Not not a whole lot of sunny days in Oregon. Plenty here, and I tell you, it really makes a difference on the spirit. When you're here in Tennessee, the spring is the most beautiful time of year, and the nice thing about the summer here is because of the humidity, it is green. The grass is just starting to turn a little bit now because it's very dry, but it's so green here during the summer. Our property is just full of green. Um, and I guess I wasn't expecting that because in Oregon, when it's dry and it's hot, everything just turns golden. Well, the grass, not the evergreen. Oregon is really nice for the evergreens. Oh, thank you. I got this shirt, and of course, because of the name of our channel, could not get it, and I got it at Rural King, my favorite store. Sherry, it's like Rural King is the coastal Walmart, so it's like a discount coastal or Tractor Supply for all the people out there. So it's like going to. I mean, some of the stuff is still really expensive, but they have way more than Coastal or Tractor Supply has as far as supplies. And except they don't have more chickens and turkeys and things like that. But, as far as feeding supplies and all of so it's like my favorite place to shop. You can get clothing there, you can get all kinds of great, great stuff. So, um, just, so you know how cheap I am, Sherry. Um, and she knows I'm cheap. Of course, I love it. So, yes, and they have free popcorn. Free popcorn. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried their popcorn for their caramel popcorn. It is so delish. So delish. I absolutely love it. And it's a guilty pleasure. I don't go to Rural King a whole lot just because I don't have animals right now. But yeah, it started in the Midwest. Yeah. We do not have it in Well, we have it here, of course, but we only have one store. Hey, Peterson family. Good to see you in here. Sorry, Chris couldn't be here tonight, but um, he is busy working like as he would say, he's working in the salt mines. In other words, he's driving truck and he's delivering groceries to the people in the heat. And so he gets to unload the truck in the heat and working really, really hard. So um, I feel sorry for him. God bless that man. He's making sure that we have insurance and health care and all of that fun stuff, dental care, eye care, and God love him. It's a total blessing, and I appreciate everything he does. Name of what? Oh, Peterson. Okay. Peterson's my husband wants to get out to see you. He likes your channel. Nashville, Indiana. I know that was a little bit disappointing. We were hoping that you were in just outside of Nashville or something, in Tennessee, because my husband would have said, "Hey, can we cut some trees down together with all your nice saws?" Um, Good stuff. Yes, the other Nashville. Thank you. We love you guys too. We have a lot of fun together. My husband and I really have learned to play off each other, and we haven't been married that long, but with the with all of that has been going on in the world, I feel like we've been married on forever. We've been through a lot. My bout with breast cancer, just all the things that we've been through. We've moved 4 times together, and one across country, and raised a foster kid together for a little while, and a special needs foster kid, and just been through a lot, and just um, dealing with jobs ups and downs, and just all the fun stuff that we've dealt with. I really appreciate what he's doing now, and he's just working hard. So just appreciate that man and love my husband. What can I say? So how I'm missing having chickens, I gotta say. I don't miss them in this heat. I mean, I can remember last year when we had turkeys in this heat. My poor Thomas, um, he was a huge turkey. He was probably um, without being butchered, probably about 70 pounds. And he really struggled in the heat. So, how is everybody's chickens and stuff doing? Okay, cute. Yep. I love the Tennessee people. They're like, keep your thermostats at 78 degrees, so you don't break the grid, so we don't all lose air conditioning. Um, Is it always this hot this year? And is it going to, or this year? Is it always this hot this time of year? And is it going to get hotter? That's what I want to know from everybody. I know it's going to get hotter. I know it's going to be in the hundreds next week, but that's good. How hot is it there in Nashville, Peterson family? I am missing having animals. I have these two wonderful dogs, but can't wait to get chicks and all of that stuff. Yeah, the rabbits really don't like the heat, do they? Hey, lady, how you doing? I'm back at you. I'd love to have you up here. That would be great. I think I sent you a link. Did you get it? Um, yeah, it's great. I miss my chickens. They were so fun to 97. Oh, okay. 97 in Indiana. Is it I don't know much about the temperature or weather in Indiana. Is it usually hot there during this time of year? Oh, I'm sorry, Q. Hi, Angie. Good to see you. Hey, fishes. Oh, that's exciting. Hannah's officially signed up for school. Woohoo! Good to hear. Good to hear. We're all having a heat wave, it seems like. Okay, that's good to know. And it's going to get hotter. Everybody keeps on telling me it's going to get hot in the hundreds and be prepared. So, okay, all you gardeners out there, Tennessee, all you guys that garden in this heat. I know Tennessee Bushcrafter says he gardens early, or he waters early, I should say. Do you water extra? Because I know that when it got to 112 in Portland last year, we did water extra. It was a dry heat. I don't know here with the humidity if it's as bad. Oh, okay. So August and September it's really hot. Okay. That's good to know. So the poor people that are going to be working on our house and putting up our house are going to be working in the heat. Those poor people. I'm going to have to bring them tons of water and stuff, treats for working in the heat on our house. It's so Tennessee, do you just water extra? How do you deal with the heat with your garden? And is it that things start to die off in August and September? I know in September our garden always, I mean, in September it was starting to get cool, but we would still kind of keep things running a little bit. Is it the same here, or is it that everything just kind of dies back? Because I know that my sister-in-law, that's also here in Tennessee, um, she got tomatoes early, and she was done by like August. Make them happy, lol. Okay. So just keep them from wilting. Okay. So if we have to water twice a day, we do it. Okay. Okay. That's good to know, Tennessee. Good to know. I grow indeterminate tomatoes too. I have, but of course they are in, I'm letting them bush out this year. Do you think, um, I don't usually let my tomatoes bush out, but I'm letting them bush out because they're kind of, they don't have a lot of root space. So I've kind of let them bush out a little more. When it gets really hot, do you trim down your tomatoes, like get all the suckers off and all of that stuff? Yeah. I haven't been trimming off my suckers just because that, I have them in grow bags, so um I want as much, even though that they're indeterminate, if you put them in a pot, they're not going to grow as high. Even though these guys are already as tall as me, my tomatoes are doing really well. Um, so I don't know if I need to trim them back, if that they'll get too much mold. Yeah, it's hopeless. For sure. Um, Mine always get six in Oregon. If you look at my old videos, they were like 12 feet tall at sometimes. Um, and I'd have to top them off because otherwise it would start to get too cold and I wouldn't get any tomatoes. So it really took a long time for the tomatoes to color up. Hi, Jewel in the kitchen. How are you doing? Good to see you in here. Night, Ginger. I'm sorry you have to go. I understand though. Yeah. So maybe maybe I need to thin them out a little bit. They seem really really healthy though, so I'm kind of worried that they're gonna like top off and are only get so big because they don't have the root space like if you had them in ground. Um, that's awesome, Tennessee. Yeah, 12 to 15 feet. Yeah, that's what mine would be in Portland. So outside they're a little shorter, the indeterminates. So bushcrafter, how does your do you do potatoes, and when do you put them in the ground? Because I have some potatoes I started. I need to start mounding them up a little bit, but and I started sweet potatoes. Both of those I started about 3 weeks ago. I think you saw that though. Yeah, Steph, if you grow indeterminate, they'll grow as high as, I mean, they'll just keep on growing. That's the nice thing about indeterminate. Usually they're heirloom tomatoes, but They're really nice because they'll just keep on producing as long as the weather permits. Yeah, yeah, for sure. 27 gallons. Totes, wow. Okay. I just have them in like a 5 gallon bag, grow bag, so I don't think they'll get as tall as that. But they look really healthy, and I haven't been taking all the suckers off. I've been just kind of letting them grow. Just so if they don't grow that tall, then I'll still get a good amount of tomatoes. But if they start looking unhealthy, I'll start my chopping so that we can get that airflow through them. You're not a huge tomato fan? Oh, I love tomatoes. The thing about tomatoes is if you're when you're homesteading is all the things you can make from tomatoes. Oh, okay. Good to know, Tennessee. Sorry, I'm reading the chat, guys. I'm glad you guys talk amongst yourselves. It's so nice to see. I love peppers too, and I got lots of peppers in the garden too, and they're already producing. Actually, I have like five big peppers. I forget what the name of them are right now. Um, I think they're hatch green chilies growing in the backyard, and they're like this big. I need that, and they can get like this big, like 8 inches or so, and I'll cut them off. But they're looking delish. Orzanos, yeah, those are great for yeah paste tomatoes for making spaghetti sauce and all of that fun stuff. I love making spaghetti sauce. I need to get together with my husband because my husband's the good cook. I'm good at making bread and pastries. That's my thing. I kind of have a natural knack for that. My husband's the cook, and so I can cook, but everything I cook is real simple. Not really, if I can follow a recipe. Let's just say that I can follow a recipe like anybody, like mad, but I cannot just throw a flavor profile together and all that stuff. Yeah, he's the I'm the baker and he's the cook, and I make the bread. Um, so yeah, I make the bread and the desserts. Lately, I've been gonna. I think I'm gonna bring you guys this recipe. I took my sourdough bread and made some raisin bread out of it. Um, that kind of tastes like a good cinnamon roll. And it turned out really well. So I think I'll be bringing that to you guys soon. Um, just so delicious. I was like amazed on how good it was. I was, let's just say, pleasantly pleased, and so was my mother in law, who loves fresh homemade bread. So is my husband, Tennessee. So is my husband. I'm good with chicken. He's the meat, the red meat man, the fish and everything. The yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, you can kind of play with cooking. I Nisi, sorry, Nisi. How you doing? Um, yeah, cooks can play around with the flavor profile a little more. Bakers can do that too. Like I take my basic bread recipe, and when I do this bread recipe, I'm literally measuring. I do them by measurements just because I found that when you're doing bread measurements, when you're doing like grams and stuff like that, things just come out better. So and I think that's because the fluctuation of like here in Tennessee, you have that fluctuation of humidity. In Oregon, you have some humidity too, but it's a different kind of humidity, and that affects your bread. And so when you're weighing things out, it actually um, affects the weight of things too a little bit. And so I think things turn out better when you're baking with grams and things like that. Yes, it is closer to a science. But once you get like, so my bread, when I make my bread, I have a standard loaf that I do. I always make a sourdough loaf. And then lately I've been making smaller loaves, and I make one regular sourdough loaf, and then I'm making like I made the raisin bread. Um, and all I'm doing is I'm adding a filler in there, and so it works out well. And so, and I'm really enjoying it because I made cheese bread so far and raisin bread, and we'll see what comes next. Maybe some jalapeno candy bread with some cheese. I know my mother-in-law might not like that, but I will. So I might have to make two different loaves. Lately, my relatives have been kind of knocking on my door and asking for the recipe, and also asking for me to make them bread. So um, I'm kind of and I enjoy that. I really enjoy um, sharing what I make with others. And so does my husband when it comes to cooking. So we're really kind of like, if you come over for Christmas or something, my husband's going to ask you, so what do you like for food? And he used to do this with my kids when he'd come over. What's your favorite dish I make? What do you want? And I mean, he makes the best stroganoff, which I can't eat anymore because it's too high in sodium. Because I have um, sodium issues, let's just say. So, Tennessee bushcrafter, you're fermenting, you're pickling and dehydrating and canning. When are you going to bring us video? I would love to see. I just feel like you're one of those people that is a resource, that people like us that haven't been doing it for a long time could learn from. Because I've been doing this, and I do my research, I study, I can, I do all that fun stuff. I love canning, I love baking, I love all that stuff. But um, we can always learn from people that have been doing it for a long time. Mushrooms and olives. I love mushrooms. So when my husband makes stroganoffs, literally he takes two big bundles of mushrooms and put them in there. And I think how it's like, um, the way to a man is through his stomach. I think it was the opposite for us. because he was the first thing that he cooked for me ever was a very, very delicious steak with mushrooms on it. And so, um, yeah. Um, so he won his way to my heart through my stomach because I love really good food. So I appreciate good food. I am really good. One of the things that he always has me make is eggs because I am the egg queen. I can make a sunny side egg or an over easy egg perfectly. Um, I rarely ever break the yolk. Um, and I'm really, and I think it's because I'm a patient person. I'm really good at grilled cheese sandwiches. I love to make a grilled cheese sandwich with, oh, cowboy candy. Does anybody make cowboy candy out there? I love cowboy candy. Um, I also, I also thought maybe a grilled cheese sandwich with grilled onions. That would be really yummy. Um, I love a tuna fish casserole or a tuna fish grilled cheese sandwich, which is, I think, a patty melt. That is amazing. I love that. Mushrooms, spinach, ham, and cheese omelets. Delicious. I'm gonna have to make that tomorrow. I have spinach in the garden. I think I have ham and I have eggs. As long as I don't put salt on it, I'm all good. Yes, training your child right. Train those kids how to cook when they're young. My mother did not do that. Um, and I appreciate a good cook. My mother in law, I'm hoping, I'm watching her closely when she cooks because she's a good cook. She does like to cook out of a can, and I can't do that. So I'm hoping to learn some tips and tricks from her. My mother was one of those cooks that she cooked from scratch. And um, she um, threw everything in a pot. And if it tasted good, thumbs up. If it didn't, thumbs down. I can eat a little bit of salt. I just have to keep it under a certain level. For some reason, my body reacts. My heart is good. Everything is fine. My cholesterol's fine. For some reason, I have high blood pressure because I react to salt, and I don't know what it is. I do eat pink Himalayan salt when I do eat salt. That's what I use for all my baking. I put it in my baking. I also put it in any canning that I do. But for some reason, I just have to really, really watch it on the salt, and it's just been um, really sad. Hi, Em. How you doing, Padmore? Good to see you in here. Um, yeah, so I just it's just kind of sad. Just kind of sad. So I have a hard time with just eating anything that salty. So I've cut back on. I've actually been losing weight. I'm on a adult. Uh, yeah, MSG. I cannot drink diet pop too because that has a lot of salt. Um, a lot of diet drinks have a lot of sodium. and it's really sad. But I've never been a pop drinker, anyways. But I'm losing weight because of the diet that I'm on, so I guess that's good. Just threw the link in the chat again, so if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome. Um, so, yeah, it's just been a little bit crazy adjusting. I think within the first week, I lost like 8 pounds. And I think literally it's just because my sodium level was so high that I um, was carrying a lot of extra water because your sodium level's so high. And so it just kind of um, gets rid of that. Hi, Anderson family. How are you doing? Good to see you in here. So, I mean, that's just one of the things that I've been dealing with. And so I've been really watching what I eat and what I drink um, just to keep everything. Yep, for sure, Tennessee. The scary things is that as I'm going through this, I'm like, sweet things don't have that much sodium. So, yeah, keto is good. It's hard to do a lot of meat with the sodium, and it's really really hard. You can find a lot of keto recipes. You can find a lot of stuff. I only found there's not that many books that are low sodium. So I mean there I have one. Show you guys. I have this low sodium cookbook for beginners. Um, the problem with it though is that um, it's recipes for 4 people, and the rest of the family is not going to eat low sodium. There's 3 other people in the house, and so um, it's really hard to uh, you know eat low sodium with other people around. Um, what I've been doing is I just been making my own meals separate from everybody else and just doing that. So thank you. Thank you, Padmore. Yeah, so I'm doing really good. I'm managing my blood pressure really well. I went to the doctor. Well, what happened is I ended up in the emergency room, and I had a blood pressure of 205 over 105, and so it was really kind of scary. And they told me that I wasn't in the danger zone, and I'm like, what? I have a headache. I have nosebleeds. I have constant headaches. I feel sick all the time, sick to my stomach. And you're telling me I'm okay, that I'm not in in an emergency situation. And I was feeling that way for several days. And um, they sent me home with nothing. They didn't even give me an IV. They said, but they did tell me one thing. They said, my heart looks good. My cholesterol looks good. The only thing is my sodium level was through the roof. And since I've been living here in Tennessee with my mother in law, she has been making um, dinners here and there. And I haven't been cooking as much, and my husband hasn't been cooking as much. because right now it's kind of her kitchen kind of situation. And she likes to do a lot of recipes, like adding soups and things like that. And um, she and soups are loaded with sodium. If you look at the back of the can of cream of mushroom soup, it's like almost your whole daily amount of sodium. Well, half of your daily amount of sodium that you're supposed to have in one serving. And so if you eat more than a cup, you've had your whole daily amount of sodium in one. And she put 2 cans of soup in one recipe. And that night, that is the night that I ended up going to the hospital in the ER. And it was not fun at all. So since then, I've been to a doctor. My blood pressure was down to 130 over 74 at the doctor's office. And he said, I think you just have a sodium issue and bad genetics because it runs in the family. So, as long as I keep my sodium down and I continue on this path of losing a little bit of weight and exercising every day, keeping my sodium down, I'll be good. And at times I take my blood pressure and it's 140 over something lately, but most of the time it's 120 over something. So I'm doing really good. But if I eat the wrong way, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't go to Courtney's thing, is because um, I would just not feel good going, okay, guys, I can't eat anything. I can't drink anything. I can't do this. You know, yeah. Yes, I do avocado oil, and I some of the tips I do Mrs. Dash, and but some of the things that I've learned from this cookbook is very interesting. Thing is, I make lemon pepper chicken, and when you make lemon pepper chicken with real lemon and pepper and a little Mrs. Dash is what I do. You don't miss the sodium because for some reason the lemon masks that there's no sodium in there. And so that's one of my go-to recipes. And I'm like, I can put that in salad. I can make chicken breasts in this and I can make chicken breasts in that. So I've been eating a lot of that kind of thing. So Fishes is here.
Gotta turn on turn off the other one. Hold on. All my tabs are open. There we go. I am so sorry you're going through all that with your sodium. That's hard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm doing the same thing though with MSG. It's like I'm finding out more and more of, what it's in, and it
It's in
surprises me.
everything.
Yeah.
It's like soy.
Yeah.
When
And
you
that too. I can't have soy.
Yeah, I went with my breast cancer. The doctor's like, avoid soy
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't go on the hormonal therapy that they wanted because I had fibroids in my uterus.
Oh.
And even though
Mm-hmm.
the fibroids were removed, the hormonal therapy that they wanted to put me on would make me have uterine cancer. And it was almost like a guarantee. So
Okay.
I was like,
Lovely.
okay, so avoid soy is what he told me. And I was like, okay, soy is in everything, just
Yeah.
like gluten and,
Yep,
you
and
know,
corn.
and
Any of our things that we make here in America, America spreads it throughout our diet and everything that we
yeah,
just about eat that's made like, not from scratch.
right.
Hey, Steph. Yeah, soy is really bad, especially modified soy in products.
Hmm.
I don't know about the edamame, how it would affect me, but like you say, like how it's in all these different products, that affects me. But the MSG, the last time I got MSG recently was a certain salad I had before with a different type of chicken on it. This time they accidentally put in their fried chicken. It was also a restaurant that everybody seems to go to rather than McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's.
Hmm.
So it's that other one, not
Yeah.
on Sundays. And I rinsed off the breading thinking, okay, well, it won't have gluten. I didn't realize that they put MSG in their fried chicken.
Oh no.
So sick. I was so sick. It was bad. And I was like, what the heck? It's
Hi,
just
Louis.
the glutamic acid. Why does it make me so sick? But it also raises blood pressure. So those soups too, they are loaded. Campbell's soup
Oh,
is loaded with MSG unless it
yeah,
says it's not.
yeah,
Hey, I know, Louis. You and Courtney. I love MSG. Give me all the. We'll give you guys the MSG.
yeah. You guys can have all the MG and the sodium and
Uh-huh.
all of that fun stuff because I don't want it. I
The
don't need
soy.
it. And yeah, I'll stick to fruit and
These are
you
so
know,
good.
yeah,
I already ate one. I'm having my second. It's
I know.
either this or I eat.
I'm so missing growing my own meat, and I mean that's the thing here is
Mhm.
that of course this is happening to me. I'm not growing my own meat. I'm so I'm buying meat from the store. Is that being, pushed with sodium?
Yeah.
It's, because that's what they like to do with chicken,
Yeah.
right? They like to,
That's the chicken. Yep.
you know,
You guys need to subscribe to a butcher box and get it there.
yeah, I think so. I think so.
But I mean, it's funny because you can tell the difference even in the meat. It has a different taste, and it's funny because my husband and my mom are like, "Oh, I don't know if I like that. It's meat. It's eating grass. That's all. It's just not fed a
Yeah,
bunch of corns and byproducts."
garbage. Yeah,
Yeah, and who knows what else?
yeah.
Yeah, they are. Most of them are crap. You're right, Tennessee.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom since you're on here real
Okay.
quick. I'll be right back.
I have to say though, not considering Laura's low sodium diet, the Amy's organic soups, they make a lentil just like my mom used to make. Like it's very close to it. Not their vegetable lentil, but their regular lentil. But it comes in a low sodium, so we get that and we keep that on hand for rotational pantry stuff. And I slip mom the low sodium one. She at first saw that. She saw the can. She's like, "Oh, is that what you're giving me?" And she sounded like that. But yeah, I have to totally watch my diet. You guys are talking about, we're talking about making bread. Oh, yeah. Liquid aminos do it to me too because they are, even though they are a substitute for soy, they have soy in them, liquid aminos, or they have what, not soy. They have something in them that I had to switch to coconut aminos. I forget NPR. Might be wheat. They have something in it that's similar to soy sauce, which I was surprised. So I switched to coconut aminos and I do that. And then there's a no teriyaki sauce that I've used too, which is pretty good. That's soy free, but it's probably really high in sodium. So Laura wouldn't be able to do that. But
Yeah.
Tessemae's is a good brand if you're using like a bottled, like sauces and stuff like that.
Hey,
Or
Skinner.
hey Skinner, hey Josh, what's up?
Yeah, I everything out of a bottle, anything that's processed.
Whoa, look at that stuff. Really? They accept EBT and SNAP at the place? That's awesome. At a homestead. I'd love that.
That is cool.
It's so funny. Every time I'm under this light, I look like I have a stripe of white right here. But when I'm in normal light, it's not
Mhm.
like that at all. It's just
I
the
think I'm
weirdest.
gonna go to. I guess this area has a really good farmers market,
Oh, I bet.
so I'm gonna go there on Saturday and see what I can get there. Because you know, since we moved here, and I mean, we had to give all our homegrown meat away, and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
My weight went up. My everything just and all that stress, of course,
Yeah. Yeah,
and the lack
Tennessee.
of exercise and all that stuff. It
Oh,
just
thanks. Sorry.
but
Yeah, it is it's like it's more the food. Like when you said she likes to make soup, I think you're on to that. The combination with MSG and the sodium would make your blood pressure just, and that makes you feel sick too.
yeah.
Thanks, Humor. It's
Well, I
growing.
mean, I literally, headaches and bloody noses and sick to my stomach. I was
Oh my
just,
gosh.
yeah, it was horrible.
Now, are you guys up any higher than you were before? Like altitude? It's not
No,
anything.
no,
Okay. I
no.
don't know if the altitude, if it was pushing your body harder or anything.
No,
And moving, yes, moving's stressful, and what they're doing is stressful stuff.
moving is stressful.
What they're doing
But
is and living with your mother-in-law. Shh, don't say that loud. Yeah,
yes,
that
yes.
can be hard too.
And my mother-in-law's a good cook, but she cooks a lot out of cans.
Yeah,
So, yes.
it's hard. And especially it's hard when you're the daughter-in-law and you have to be like, "I can't eat that."
But
That's rough.
when you end up in the hospital, she kind of accepts that you can't eat
Yeah,
that.
kinda have to pull that. Mhm.
Yeah.
"I almost died." "Okay,
I'm,
we'll treat you a little bit nicer with that."
I'm in the ER, so I can't eat that. I'm sorry.
Have to start making cold soups, like the cantaloupe soups and things like that.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
her
I
into
need to
those.
actually gonna make some nutmeg soup or some kind of not nutmeg, some of the recipes in here. I've got stuff for the ingredients for, but it's just
Mm.
interesting stuff.
What, your new cookbook?
My new
Sorry.
cookbook
Mm, very good.
for beginners, but I like that it's got it. It literally takes you through a diet kind of program and
Mhm.
really introduce you into breaking. And so you kind of pick up these little tips and tricks as you're going along, and you're like, oh, okay, I
Yeah,
can do this, and it
yeah,
tastes normal. And now when I eat something salty, like if I'll have a bite of something, I'm like, oh,
yeah. You can
yeah,
really taste it, especially
yeah.
since yeah,
Or
if
you
it's
could
not
taste the
natural.
MSG and stuff. It's like,
Oh, the MSG is I'm migrating. That's the tough part. Like, I wish I could just take it and be like, "Oh, that had MSG in it," and feel a little off. Ooh,
mhm,
I'm sick as a dog now. It's getting worse if I
yeah,
get MSG. From when it first started, it just hits harder, it seems like. Okay.
yeah,
Lots I just please. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, Steph. You got your prayers. Yeah, that is
for
stressful.
sure, for sure.
You got them. It's really hard. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to wash mine. She's at that stage where it's like she doesn't want to get in the shower.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out what the hell, because the spraying stuff for hair or whatever, it's just not the same.
Hmm.
All right, got to find the right products.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Steph. We went through that with my dad, but they at least were able to come to the house once he got to a certain place.
Yeah.
I wasn't there when that happened. My brother actually, they drove there, Stephanie, and he died in the ambulance on the way because they forgot the BiPAP. They were going to keep him on the BiPAP. I guess I don't know what happened there, and they
They
gave
can't.
him a shot, which they should not have given him, to say to calm his nerves.
Mm,
Well, it calmed him a little too much without a BiPAP machine working
yeah,
properly
yeah.
on the way over.
So I didn't keep his airway open. Yeah.
Yeah, she's funny about that stuff. I'm not sure she would do that at this point with anyone. We have a problem with the bathrooms. We need our bedroom because our son is in it with us. It's the only bed like room in the house that can fit him and us in it. But that's the one with the shower that's like a step down open shower.
Hmm.
The one near her is a tub. So getting over that tub
Yeah.
thing is a little tricky, and I think that's what
We
scares.
got the same thing.
Yeah.
That's I'm so thankful we're building our own house because all
Yeah,
the doors are going to be wide enough for even wheelchairs.
good.
And
Yep.
right now in this house, I mean, we took so long to find a house because we had to have that for my mother-in-law too, for that stepped in
Oh,
shower.
okay.
She couldn't step into a bathtub.
Yeah.
And so the same thing will be going on. So
Mhm.
she'll have that same, but here she does not have enough handles and we can't drill anything into the
I
wall.
know. Yeah. We
So,
just did that bathroom too, so it's like I bought the handrails and, they make them look so big, and then you get them, and they're like this
right.
little and then it's got like a diamond etching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not gonna work. It's real narrow and it's got diamond edge. All I can think of is she's gonna smack her head on that. That's not
Yeah,
gonna grab onto.
yeah,
Plus, I'd rather not have to drill it into. I'd like to get her into our shower. I got to find a way to wheel her into our room.
yeah.
I need one of those folding wheelchairs, I think, and
Yeah,
not carry.
those are handy, and you can get them on eBay or eBay. You can get them on. Um, I used to have one. We got one on Amazon. I mean, they're pretty
Yeah,
easy to get.
yeah.
You could always. I mean, for
I checked
her,
OfferUp. We have OfferUp and Craigslist in the area.
yeah,
Looking at
OfferUp
those,
is awesome
yeah.
for stuff
And
like that.
I was looking actually even just get a shower chair like that rolls,
Yeah,
like one that's like a wheelchair that rolls, but it's a
those
shower chair.
are so much more expensive, though.
Yeah, but Walmart actually had ones for like 140, I think it
Oh,
was
that's not bad.
140. No, but I don't know this way if she'll fit in it because she's not
Yeah, yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So I'm not sure. I've got to do the measurements. And I'm outside sure. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's hard. You guys are an hour away. Yeah, there wasn't. He was in bad shape, and Pinmar. Otherwise, my mom wasn't there to fight it. My mom was just not there mentally.
Yeah, that's why my mother-in-law came with us, is because that we were going to be those people that took care of her.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why she's, moving in with us and doing all that stuff too. It's just because she's she's well with it. Mentally
Mhm.
and all of that stuff. She just has some mobility issues that,
Yeah.
and a gastrostomy bag and stuff like that. So
Oh, bless her
yeah,
heart. It's hard.
yeah. So
And you too. Bless you, Laura, for taking that on, you guys.
yeah.
Yeah, you see, my mom has one of those. It moves too fast for her, and she doesn't have the withitness for the brakes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we had bought her one of those, not realizing that the mental capacity would affect it
Yeah, yeah,
off on her. She has
yeah,
a regular walker too, so that's why I think it might be just easier to wheel her from her side of the house to our side because of the split bedroom plan.
yeah. Probably, I would do that.
Marshmallow way to take it to the toilet.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Unique
have some
way.
of those in there. I don't touch them. They're for mom. So yeah, I just
Go
wipe
poop.
them. Yeah, I disinfect those marshmallow. I wouldn't dare use them also.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't mind one of those, what is that? The potty seat thing where you can put your feet on it?
squatty potty.
The squatty. Yeah, I need a
Yeah,
squatty at this
the
age.
squatty potty's pretty good.
Yeah,
I had one for a while.
yeah,
If you have some issues, it's nice.
yeah. I have the IBS stuff, so yeah, that's I would consider that issues. So yeah, some days I'm good to go too much, and other days I'm not going at all. So yeah, squatty
Yeah,
potty might come in handy.
I have those
Drink
issues.
more coffee. I think those are the days that I'm good to go for a while.
Yeah.
Tennessee Bushcrafter tastes great. Cheers. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Always comes back to poop with our group of
Oh, yeah,
friends.
it does.
Mm. Oh,
You
that
get
was a good investment.
one more you get more than one of us up here, and you got
That
you're talking
was
about poop.
Marshmallow. Marshmallow started that one.
Marshmallow, yeah, for sure.
Oh, thanks. It was a while ago. It was over 10 years ago. Thanks, Weimar. Yeah,
Drink more coffee.
I know. That's right.
Yeah. I don't drink coffee anymore. I quit coffee too.
Wow. Did that help with do you feel a little calmer without it?
You know what? I actually am waking up better in the morning.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that that would go together. Hmm.
It's really weird. I I'm less foggy in the morning, and I think it's because I'm not reliant on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm My husband's like, "You're doing good without the coffee."
I might have to try
And for him
that.
to say that, I mean, I used to be the lady that he'd be like, "You haven't had your coffee yet. I'll talk to you later." You
Yeah,
know?
that's me.
Yeah. And now I'm the, "Oh, hi, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey,
It's morning."
hey, morning. Oh, I wonder. Yeah. Well, I know I did. I felt like calmer, like just different when I wasn't drinking coffee. And then we got back we got into the fostering to adopt. And soon after a baby that doesn't sleep, it's like, I think I need some coffee this morning. Yeah. I'd like
Yeah,
to get back
well,
off of it.
I don't have that anymore, so
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's a lot. But on top of everything else, oh my gosh. Talk
yeah,
about being
yeah,
in the
you got a
hospital.
lot. Coffee, just bring it on.
Take that coffee.
Ivy?
IV coffee staff. Give me the good Colombian stuff, please.
Yeah. It's funny when we went to Vegas with uh, all my cousins, and they're all nurses, right?
Mhm.
And so they're like, "Yeah, yeah, we'll just do an IV in the morning. No big deal. Let's have fun." It's like
IV flush of coffee. And
not
the nurse is
coffee,
down,
but
your
just
cousin's
an
all
IV
sitting there.
flush of, you're in Vegas, so you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I missed
you
it.
just have
Yeah,
an IV in the morning.
there you go. You'll be
And you
fine.
flush out all the crap, and then you can do
Yeah.
it again.
Oh my gosh, that's a genius
And I'm
idea.
telling you, those nurses can drink.
Yeah, now we know why. They just flush it right
Yeah.
out
Mhm.
with an IV.
Yeah.
Yeah, MP1, are you a nurse or did you deal with that? I was thinking that. Yeah. Still can be that catheter thing though. Oh, no.
No,
Being
catheters are not fun. I've done catheters
yeah.
before.
Yeah,
No.
because they can leak. My dad, when he had his, bladder cancer, they sent him home too soon, and he yanked that sucker out because of his dementia. They
Mhm.
didn't really think that one through too well because he was still bleeding. Like, how do you
Yeah,
send a man home like that? He's got dementia.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
that was horrible. But yeah, I wouldn't wanna do that with my mom. I wouldn't wanna have to do catheters. I mean,
I'm
the
okay with
colostomy bags are not any better, but it's the
I
insertion
I've
thing.
done them, but it's not fun,
No, it doesn't.
especially in a male. I mean, I think it's
Oh,
easier than in a female,
yeah,
but
yeah. Mm-mm. That's Bob. That reminds me of Bob. Him
yeah.
and his
Where's
catheters.
Bob?
Poor guy. I'm a huge coffee fan. Yeah, about 10 weeks. Yeah. And you only maybe drink 3 cups in a year? I wasn't expecting a year to end that sentence.
Yeah, I probably will have a cup once things kinda level out for me.
Yeah,
I'll probably have a cup here and there,
yeah.
but I have, like, decaf downstairs, and it just doesn't do it for me. It's
Mm,
like, what's the point of
yeah.
I guess I don't like coffee that much that
No. If you don't crave, like, a little decaf.
Yeah,
He's
I
trying to
don't
open your
crave
screen door? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Is he, like, ravenous? What's wrong with him?
Oh,
Do you
that's
have any
weird.
good smells? Did you make a good dinner tonight, Steph, that he's like, "Hey, something smells good in there?"
Wow, Steph, that's crazy.
That's scary. I would kick
You
the door, like, tap it with your foot.
you have to take pictures and, like, send them to us.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wait, what did I miss that Laura said that didn't need to be said?
Didn't
About
need
decaf? MP more how or coffee provides electrolytes? What? What does that
Coffee is actually
manganese.
not that bad for you. So, is decaf coffee not provide those electrolytes?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that it can take calcium out of your body. Coffee
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
which isn't good, but
Beef broth. Hmm.
that's an interesting add-in. I've heard of it, like, that's how they make mole, isn't it? Or no, mole's chocolate, not coffee. Sure,
You're
I hear you.
okay. When you stop drinking coffee.
Yeah, because she can't stay calm because she doesn't have her
Yeah.
awake brain to be maybe dealing with whatever's coming at her.
Well,
I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
Sherry, if I had Cheyenne, I would need coffee too.
My
That's my
coffee was on the
sister.
floor. Oh, hey.
She's
You're
got a bunch of special needs kids at home. So if I had Cheyenne, I would need coffee.
yeah.
Cheyenne is oh, your son plus
I woke up to my son eating markers this morning, and I felt like I was a crack addict because all of a sudden I hear some go across the room, and there he is in his bed. He had gotten to, thank God I don't give him real markers. I give him those special kind, the
yeah,
color
yeah.
wonder.
Mhm.
All of them, like mostly the tips were missing. I'm like, well, let's see how this
There you
goes.
go.
Yep.
Hi, gear grinding.
And then I was talking to a friend on the phone today later on after he kept going in the kitchen. I told him no, so I moved the couch. I didn't realize my coffee was partially off the table next to the couch. And just by doing that, I knocked it on the floor underneath a bunch of shit. I had coffee all over the floor, and I drink coffee and almond milk. Thankfully, I don't put sugar in my coffee anymore. I was just like, oh, this day is not good. I don't think this day is going to be a good one. So that ends. I get everything cleaned up. It had gotten on what I had crocheted for Hannah that I haven't finished. Cute.
Oh.
So I put that in the wash. I'm like, okay, if I don't dry it, it should be okay. And no sooner than I sit down, have my second cup of coffee ready. Thank God that didn't spill. I'm talking to the friend, and all of a sudden Malachi comes out of the kitchen where I tell him not to go all the time with
Mhm.
the wipes, Clorox wipes.
Oh,
But I
nice.
didn't see him at first that that's what it was. I just saw him sit down and he's got something, and I'm like looking at him. As soon as I realize what he's already got it open and he's going for a drink. And I'm like, person on
So
the phone.
Sherry, share, Malachi, her son, who's adopted, is
Mhm.
autistic.
Yes.
So,
Autistic, FAS, give him
mhm,
like all the initials. He's
yeah,
probably
give them all, get just
just give him
all of them out
ABCD. Yeah, give him the alphabet.
there. Yeah.
Brain kitchen raise. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Forever. Oh, are you homeschooling or is she graduate level? Like
She's
graduate
she's,
teenager level?
well, she's out of high school, and so she's in that in between,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
she's still in school because they can go to school until they're 21, I
got
believe.
it.
Is she still in school then? And then she'll probably do, like, some kind of a job thing after that, so,
Yeah. Oh, I might have to I'm glad you're in my life. I might have to keep Cher in my is it Cher? Cher.
Sherry.
Sherry. I might have to keep Sherry in my life too because I'm gonna need some
Yeah,
advice as
Sherry's
ages.
an RN.
Oh,
She's
okay.
my sister, and she's awesome. What can I say?
Oh,
She's just awesome. And, I used to work for her, and, we did Jonah together, and then when
hey, Crystal.
I'm in a relationship with Chris, then I did Jonah by myself,
Yeah.
always with Sherry's help. Yeah, she's 21, so,
Oh, wow. Bless you.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Mine is Malachi will be 8 in July, and he's still acting like he's 2 or 3, if
yeah,
that,
yeah,
if that. But he is starting to say more words. He really struggles to put them together, to string them together, but he's starting to try more. So I'm
yeah,
very proud of him but you can tell that apraxia just gets in the way, even when he can somewhat read.
yeah,
And it's just sad because you can see how his mouth he can't form the words, but
mhm.
he knows some of them because he'll read it in order, and then the tracking's a little off too because you could his little head will be like I watch his little head and it can tell he lost
When I used to work at the
even
school
when I
with all
underline
those
it.
autistic kids, I
Mhm.
mean, most of them could read. It was amazing that
Yeah.
they read well. I mean, they would put you know, they couldn't say a word, but they would string sentences together and be able to read all this stuff and just,
Mhm.
and you're just like, and then you start to get it. It's like this poor kid cannot communicate. No wonder he's so angry or she's so
Yeah,
angry,
that's my son. He gets so angry.
because they they can do all this stuff. They can communicate through the written word, or through their oddcom, or just
Yeah,
their devices that they speak through, but they cannot speak a word.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and
That's like the
the deaf
severe Brexit.
community has kind
Yeah.
of, a
Oh,
lot of them know
sure.
sign language, and a lot of them have said, "No, you cannot use sign language if you're not deaf." And it's like, what do you
What?
that's not okay. These kids have learned how to speak sign language, and it's a bridge for them. Let
Yeah.
them speak sign language.
Who
And
wait, who's saying they can't use it?
some of the deaf community is saying that.
Oh, fuck.
Having a
That's
deaf child, I understand a little bit, but, it's just like,
what, leave them trapped inside there.
leave them trapped inside their own little bodies.
That's really kind. Well, what about your children who aren't deaf that need to communicate with you? Hmm,
Yeah,
guess they can't talk to you anymore that
yeah.
way.
I guess
Fuck
the
it.
deaf community does not like even the babies learning how to use sign. And we were, as in the Portland School District,
Mhm,
we were not encouraged to encourage the autistic children
mhm.
that had learned sign language to, speak sign language to them, because um, the deaf community didn't support it, and it was a weird thing that was going on.
I swear,
It made me so
that
angry.
area is just, like, primed for division. Like, let's just figure out how many ways we can divide humanity. Let's see what happens. Let's do it
Yeah,
right here.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
try it in Portland and Seattle. Let's just watch those 2 communities, see what happens.
and then watch them explode. Yep,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
basically. That's what it seems like. Oh, yeah, I saw that stuff on keto. I've heard some things where, yeah, they have done better on keto. He's on a gluten, casein-free diet, although we did just tiny give him a tiny bit of Carvel. We don't usually cheat, but he just had a tiny taste of Daddy's Carvel, ice cream cake, very little, because he doesn't do dairy. But, yeah, keto would be really hard because he has an issue with textures with meat.
Yeah.
You have to, still give him, like, the kids' organic pouches when it comes to meats, because he can't deal with the texture and the strong, like, it would have to be like a stew that I would blend up
Mhm.
still, so I don't know how to pull that off
Yeah.
because of the texture issues. It would be wonderful if it was a recovery like that, because that they did use keto and, the CBD for the kids who were having, like, all the seizures, and that helped them too. They were doing, like,
Yeah.
keto, right? It was like a keto diet, but maybe it was
It was
higher
a
in
keto
milk.
diet, and they also use that, like a modified keto diet for breast cancer and some cancers, um,
Yeah.
and, anything behavioral.
Mhm.
There's yeah, um, of course, the stay away from the red food dyes and a lot of the glutens and a lot of the things like
Yeah.
that cause behaviors as well.
Yeah, they say that with the sugar. Yeah. And that's what I've tried to explain to my husband. It's hard. Mhm. Does fecal. Oh, I've heard of that. Wait, does he do that for hangovers, the fecal transplants, or is that for the kids for their, like, they think sometimes they have SIBO and all kinds of other intestinal issues that are on the spectrum? I'm just grateful that Malachi has at least words. He's got some words. He's
Yeah,
starting to use them.
that
And
is amazing.
yeah, because we didn't know if he was gonna use words either, so we're
Yeah,
grateful for that. And
yeah.
we're still debating on whether or not to go back to the he was in the, I'm trying to think, craniofacial department before all this COVID stuff happened.
Mhm.
Kept evaluating him every year whether or not to do a surgery for he has just a submucosal cleft, it's very small,
Oh, okay.
But his surgeon this last time, what he was concerned with was, if the muscle structure is incorrect on the top, how that can affect the forming of the words
Mhm.
and everything. But the behaviors tell me it's more intellectual than it's just like a structural issue. And that's what the rest of the specialists were saying.
Saying too, yeah.
Yeah. So it's so hard because surgeons want to operate. That's what they do. That's their
Yeah,
life.
they wanna fix it,
Hmm.
and
It might not
yeah,
be able to be fixed with a surgery, and I don't want to put them through unnecessary pain.
right. That
Oh,
that
it is kind of, it's for autism. Wow. Okay. Share, what if they shown like is there like a percentage of kids who have done it or adults even that have had any kind of recovery? Because I've heard of that for people who have like intestinal issues, but I hadn't heard of it for autism.
I haven't heard that either. Must have been a new study you read somewhere, Sherry.
Yeah. Well, those nurses, they got to keep up on all those
Well,
journals because
just
the doctors kind
to
of
keep her
partially read them.
license for work, she has to, yeah.
Yeah, the CEUs. It's like,
Mhm.
I wish I could do nursing. I don't have the stomach for it, and I don't have the memory anymore now for it. Plus, I don't know how you guys did all the organic chemistry, all those lovely problems. I don't have that math brain to do
I
all those
don't either.
formulas. Oh my gosh. No, nope. I knew somebody who loved, she's like, I loved it. I loved organic chem. And our stepdaughter, well, my stepdaughter, my husband's daughter, she actually struggled, she said. She struggled. No, she was struggling with getting her A that she wanted. Come to find out, she was teaching the other kids on the side and then ended up assisting as a like part of the class.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Well, that's so exciting that your daughter, filled out all the paperwork for school and is doing all that, and
we're super. It was really an amazing night because we went in to see the financial aid advisor. Found out that she just moved here to Florida 7 months ago.
mhm.
Her husband is a former New Jersey police officer, and I guess in the state of New Jersey, they allowed the police officers who were close to retirement to take it. If you were 2 years or something away, I forget how
Mhm.
many it was, you could take early retirement.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So he was getting sick. He was totally getting sick a lot. Anyway, but she had worked for this beauty school up in Jersey. That's where it came from. And I was like, wow, that's like such an amazing, like, that's just meant to be.
Mhm.
And I said, we got a lot going on at home. I said, she has a special needs brother, but he was meant to be too. And just talked a little bit about it. I said, it started with a dream. I know that sounds weird. And I told her a little bit about, the dream. I said, and it was the first time I've ever heard God actually speak, even if
Mhm.
it was in a dream, ever speak to me like that. And I said, I know it sounds weird, but that's how we ended up with my son. Come to find out, she had a dream. That's how, and God spoke to her. And she's
Mhm.
like, I don't meet people that have that same experience very often. You asked earlier where the vids on certain topics are. Oh, cool. Oh, awesome, Tennessee.
That is cool.
Was it share organic chem was your favorite too? Yeah, it seems like a lot of people who end up going into nursing. My stepdaughter is an anesthesiologist assistant. They end up loving it. And the other girl I knew loved it, and her notebook was gorgeous with all her problems. He had fetal alcohol, and it looks like autism, and to get him help, they basically classify them as autistic stuff, even though fetal alcohol is its own thing. But mommy, um, bio mommy had learning disability, we believe. So she or daddy, also, we know daddy. I saw a picture of daddy on Facebook when he was younger doing the same like hand things that our son does. So it's possible that he
That's
is
okay.
genetically autistic, and then fetal alcohol on top of it. I would love to do that Tennessee.
I would too. We've looked into it and it just seems really expensive, but
They
um,
don't have a program for the state of Tennessee.
I don't know if they do.
Because
We
Florida
are
has
hooked up to
something.
electric now, so there may be a buyback program, but I'm not sure.
Probably good to try it out with maybe like your coop or something small
Mm.
on the property.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, FAS can present in so many ways. And just talking to Laura Scherer, I think he had more than FAS he was exposed to, but that was all they ever caught her on was alcohol. They didn't have documents.
Alcohol just shows primary, it presents itself so clearly.
Yeah. He had the look. The face is there. When he was a baby, we
Mhm.
all said it was
Well, you
fetal.
can see it when I see him too.
Yeah. Yeah, the separation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's got, even though you have to be careful because too of his ethnicity, but he does have the flatter here.
Mhm.
And yeah, the he was sunken in when we got him in here.
Yeah.
Mid-face would have been flat if it wasn't sunken in because he was
How
underfed.
old was he when you got him?
He was almost 12 weeks old. He was almost 12 weeks, and he was the weight of my daughter when she was born.
Mm.
In fact, they actually rounded up
So
so
was
he
he
could
a
go.
preemie or a
He was under 5 pounds. They said he was not premature, um, but mom was on blood pressure medication supposedly,
okay,
and I think he was slightly premature. I don't think they had their dates right because it's not like mom was getting a lot of care. I don't think
prenatal
prenatal.
care? Yeah. Mhm.
Prenatal, and she had a learning disability. Who knows
Yeah.
what the count off was?
Yeah. Okay.
But he could have been close to term because this was her 10th.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. That's how his siblings got given back to her, and thankfully they did because then they had to go back in for to be seen and everything. And when they were seen, one of the children had been bitten by a pit bull and it wasn't even taken care of. Yeah. So then that was the time that the lawyer said enough, like the county lawyer
mhm.
said, this is it. In and out, in and out, in and out. We're done now. This is time to, to take her parent. She can't parent. Like they tried and tried and tried to get her through
Right.
classes, and luckily they did that. So they netted him in this
Uh-huh.
last one.
Right.
Otherwise, they might have missed it if they didn't.
Right.
If they would have kept those kids and never sent them home, they might have missed him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's a sad world when you start to look at what's going on with all these kids. I mean, we think we have it hard and then you look at what these kids
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah.
Just sad, sad stuff.
Oh, Tennessee, you're a major journaler, eh? That's cool. I lose mine. That's the problem. I'm not consistent with them. Like sketchbooks, I have sketchbooks, but I'm not even consistent with those. And especially now, I don't even get to. Oh, I'm so sorry, Steph. A child they shouldn't go before a parent. And I'm sorry, Sherry, you and Laura lost your dad that way. My first, like, really good job teaching, the art teacher was going to retire. Her husband was just taking his business at home. He had worked for a company for a long while, and he was an architect.
Mhm.
And he had real success with these last homes that he knew he did all on his
Right.
own, you know? So he's leaving that nest. Well, he goes to a Dolphins game and has a major aneurysm and dies right after he came home to do a home-based business. So fortunate for the wife, where we were both working, she had been there for a while. Everybody loved her. You know, she was the art teacher there for years. That whole community at that church surrounded her, and a
Yeah.
lot of those people had money, and they helped her uh,
Yeah.
a lot. They helped her a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, anaerobes, they're awful. They're awful.
They're horrible. Yeah. My dad died of an aneurysm, and he was teaching soccer, and
Ugh, and just,
he went to the bathroom and didn't come back. And
oh my
my
God.
brother um, felt like he needed to check on him, but he was in a conversation with some people and didn't listen to that, and so he lives with that, and
Horrible.
it's horrible. And so, good night, Sherry. So it's kind of sad,
Hey, Sharon. Nice meeting you.
Um, so he's has a hard time with that, and so
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
then the man I was married to before Chris, um, he had an aneurysm 2 years afterwards,
Oh my gosh, Laura.
and didn't
Wow.
didn't pass away.
Yeah.
And he was an alcoholic before that and became extremely abusive after that.
Oh, gee. Yeah,
And
because it can change their whole personality
yeah, and
like the
and
strokes
started
did.
drinking again and
Oh,
just
I'm so
yes.
sorry.
And so that's why we're no longer married.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um but yeah, so we had some rough years, and then my brother died within that span too. So it was like that
The
three,
same brother that was living with that, or is it a different brother?
a different brother,
Oh, okay.
an older brother.
Mm,
He went to a conference, and he was about to be 40, and he had always told us he was going to live until he was 40 years old. And this is a brother that was epileptic,
wow.
severely epileptic.
Mhm,
And because of his epilepsy, he was normal when he started having epilepsy. He
mhm.
um, got epilepsy because he had a fever as a child. He had scarlet fever.
Okay.
And he um, so he slowly lost, like
Mm,
just having severe
yeah.
grand mal seizures over time, lost his hearing, lost all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mm,
And so he slowed down. He wasn't as sharp anymore,
mhm.
just some learning
Yeah.
disabilities developed and stuff like that. And he went to this conference, this big Christian conference.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what. But
Yeah.
he he felt like he'd always told us before this conference that he was going to die before 40. And it was really strange. And he died 2 weeks after his 40th birthday.
Wow. Oh
And
my
the
gosh.
amazing thing about it was it's like he went to that conference and he was walking in like this peace before he,
Mm, yeah.
it's almost like he knew,
Mhm.
it's time to go home.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. It was like, okay,
That was my youth pastor before he got in that airplane accident. He told his wife something amazing is about to happen. I just feel it.
yeah,
Wasn't amazing for her, right?
right,
Dealing with being a widow, but
right,
for him, he was, always serving the Lord, and he at the time was a missionary pilot.
right. But the same thing with my father before he died. He was talking to my sister and I about his end of life wishes.
Woo.
And we're like, okay, this is strange. Why is dad talking to us about it? But okay,
Yeah,
it's good to know, what
yeah,
you want at
yeah.
your life. And just very interesting. And before he passed away, he gave me this look. My mom and my dad, um, they weren't very good at saying I love you all the time. Like Chris and I
Yeah,
say I love you, say I
yeah.
love you this, I love you that. And I think it's just more prominent nowadays. But,
Mhm.
you know, they just didn't say I love you that much.
Yeah, I don't think
He
my
just gave
parents
me
did.
this look like I love you.
Mm, mm.
And that was like something I could hold on to when he passed away.
Yeah.
And I just think it's interesting how God does that and how
Yeah.
he like prepares people
Yeah.
for, because I mean, you know, when he had his aneurysm, I mean, he was having headaches, he was having all this stuff. He wasn't telling people that he was
Oh,
having this stuff.
yeah.
He told my little brother, which was, you know, this he was young,
Yeah.
same brother that,
Didn't go check.
yeah.
Yeah. That's hard
And so
because
it's just interesting how God works that way.
yeah.
But
Oh, wow, stuff. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing about that woman's husband. He was just enjoying a Dolphins game.
yeah,
It struck him, I believe, right there in the stands. I don't even think he got a chance to go to the bathroom.
yeah,
Like how they say that, like, "Oh, it's gonna be like the worst headache of your life,"
right.
or it might have just happened just that fast. And with
Yeah.
my mom, hers was she had her last stroke was where they bleed. I can't think of the proper word. Where it is like it's like an aneurysm,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
bleed. And, she just all of a sudden, she didn't feel good, and she threw up all over, and
Mm,
thankfully, my sister called 911, like, because that's so out of characteristic for a mom to just puke, and she had
right.
already had 2 strokes too, so Sue knew it could have been serious, and we had lost our dad, like, um, my my
So she
sister's
kind of
dad.
maybe remembered the symptoms of a stroke or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was the the stress that she knew my mom was under, and she knew more than she was telling me, this sister. She didn't tell
Uh-huh.
me
Yeah,
all that was going on with my mother, and it made me look like a freaking idiot because I was like, "Mom, what the hell? What's going what the hell is
yeah,
wrong with you? Like, why are
yeah,
you being so mean, and why are you
yeah,
being like this? Why are you telling me you're gonna move, and then I drive all the way up here, and you're like, 'No, never mind.'"
yeah,
Well, because she possibly had ALZ.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sister had that. But anyway, yeah, hers was the last one was the worst, and it was the bleeder. That was where she got aphasia. We weren't even sure if she was gonna be able to say a word again. Uh-oh. A tornado warning?
Maybe if I press on it, it'll go away.
That's what he said. Oh, sorry.
Exactly.
I always make a point to say it. I know. I try to, Tennessee. I'm more the one who says I love you, and my poor husband, I think, is just overworked so much right now. Like, it's making him a shell of a human, and I don't know how to help him. They've just got people, like, quitting on them, and especially now in summer, he's 56 to be out in that heat, ugh, on commercial properties. It's the Amber Turd alert, Kira said.
It's a
Better
what?
run for your
Amber
life.
Amber turtle.
Amber Turd. Cover your beds with plastic, hurry.
No, I don't know. It's just kind of a test, I think. They're testing it to see if it's still working.
Oh, Tennessee, that's so sweet. Yeah, it's true, we could just say it to other people easier. Yeah. Well, there's crabby people, and then there's just hurting people too.
Yeah, there is. I think I think it's interesting how we have come to this place where we can say it to people that we meet, you know,
Mm.
almost like, um, sorry, my ear's buzzing.
Like, make it more casual.
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah,
more casual than it was.
ever's been. Mhm. Yep,
Yeah,
than it ever was, yeah. I agree. I agree.
you know, and it's like, do we really mean that?
I know.
Because it's such a powerful word if you look at love, that word.
Yeah, Tennessee. Well, it's spreading, it seems like, across the world,
Mhm.
the hatred. TN. Yeah, it's bad.
It
I
is.
I sent that short. I don't know if you saw. I sent it to Courtney's group, and then I sent it to Josh because I don't know who's a double in which group
Right.
that we have. And oh my gosh, she names all the things that are backwards and upside down. This one woman, and like just goes down the list, and it's like,
I'll have to go look for it.
yeah, it just looks. You see her face, and it says I think nailed it, and I got it from a different like lady sent it to me that I'm in a group with
Uh,
who it's basically a what the heck is going on ever since the election group. It's a real
yeah.
small group of Christian women.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, and she usually has all kinds of stuff she finds that's like, wow, where the heck did you find that?
Yeah. My sister's really into what's going on these
Yeah.
days. I'm kind of surprised she's not on YouTube, but I think she's an adult foster
Yeah.
and stuff.
And
So
I have to kind of push away from with what I
it
have
gets
this
so
week.
dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets to the point where you and my husband and I are kind of in the same place. We'll watch the news, and we know what's going on,
Mhm.
and we know what's going on with the New World Order and all of this stuff that's going
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
But you got to remember what's written in the Word too at a certain point, and just go, okay, God said these things were going to come to pass,
Yeah. Exactly.
and the only salvation is in Him, and we just need to go to that place where we're with Him. And
Yeah. That's what I was talking to somebody about before. Like, if you've ever been close to God and you've been walking with Him and you feel like you were closer a time ago, then that's a sign you've backslidden. That's where he talks about remember your first love and go back. And I was, saying that to this person. I said, I think right now with everything going on, I need to make sure my course is right with Him
yeah,
and everything else will fall in place. Um, because I just haven't been giving it, I've been letting it slide. And
yeah.
then I slid back because I let it slide.
And I'm in the same place,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
hard.
and I've been realizing lately that, it's like I really got to keep myself guarded. I got to keep myself focused on and surrounding my people, surrounding myself
Yeah.
with people that are um, like-minded and
Yeah.
in the same place, and not, that are not going to distract me from my true love and
Mm.
which
Yeah.
is within Him. So you know, um, it's just
Yeah. I have to step away from the politics, Tennessee, too. And that's what I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if I didn't have YouTube, would I know about all that stuff going on?
right,
No. And then how would my life be different if I didn't know about like how especially my anxiety levels
exactly,
would be
exactly.
notched down, I'm
I
sure.
think it's. I
For sure.
think we have to be informed,
Yeah.
but
It's coming at you all the time if you have YouTube
worrying is a
page.
sin. So,
Yes.
we're, we're supposed to give it
Hey,
back
Miss
to Him.
Linda.
Hi, Southern Belle. We're supposed to give it back to Him. So why are we holding on to this? It's not for us to hold on to
Mm,
and sit in that place where we're just feeding ourselves with that. So
that's pretty powerful. That's powerful. Definitely part of us that's gonna live forever. We have to get the new body first to make that complete.
yeah, that is.
We're having deep conversations, Miss Southern Belle. How are you? We are human and God does understand. You're right.
Yes,
We are human. But we can't also use that as an excuse not to backslide. We have to make sure that our relationship with him is where it was when we first fell in love with him.
I thought it was funny. The other day we were in Sam's Club, and there was a young lady wearing a shirt that
Mhm.
said, "Religion is a form of mental, um, let's just say, somebody that doesn't have good mental health."
Oh.
Um, and I almost got mad when I saw that, and then I thought, and
Mhm.
then my husband said, "Well, honey, you're not religious.
No. Yeah, it's different.
It's
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
It's different.
it is
So why are
different.
you worried about that?" Who cares what she says? But it was kind of interesting that I felt like I had
Yeah,
to,
Tennessee.
step up
Yeah,
and say something.
yeah.
But it's just sad that, I mean, thank God we're in a place where she can say what she wants to say about that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
we're in a country that she can say that.
yeah. Well, Satanism is also a religion, so
It is. It
there's
is.
that. There's
It
that.
is. But they don't think of it that way.
We don't. We don't. Yeah, Tennessee, I wish, the basic ethics and respect for others and across the board too, just like in
Right,
different religions, you will find people that don't know how to adhere to that either. Like,
right.
it's like a competition of who is the better Christian or the better Catholic or the better
Yeah,
Jew
and
or
it's stupid. It's
yeah,
stupid.
it is stupid.
Because I am no better than anybody else in this world,
Mhm.
and that, yeah, and that's the way it is.
Oh, it's alright, Tennessee. We know we're all different. It's just watching what we're seeing now and knowing what we know from growing up, like, from teachings out of the Word, from reading the Bible ourself, it's gonna get bad. There's not a loop around and we go back from this crap that's happening now.
Yeah.
It is gonna get pretty bad. Yeah, there's a lot of obstacles, like Southern Belle said. There is.
Yep, there is.
And we make up our own too. I know I do.
Oh, I do too. It doesn't everybody. I
Yeah,
mean, we get in the way of ourselves all the time.
yeah. That's a good yeah, Steph, I agree with that. I'll protect your right to say what you want, whether I agree or not. That's free
Right.
speech.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to hold on to. Hold on to free speech. Yeah, to what is it? Walk in the way of the Lord is, to basically live justly, wait, love mercy, and walk humbly.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tennessee, unfortunately, they are. But there's a lot of people out in the world like that too. And the church is a reflection, and so are religions a reflection of the people that are in the world. You
Yep.
don't just walk into a building and suddenly those people are all gonna be great.
The building isn't gonna save you.
Yeah, the building isn't gonna make
The
everybody
pastor
A-okay.
isn't gonna save you.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of them, I know Tennessee, and God's gonna deal with them, but especially teachers that have been that way, that have hurt people.
Yeah. I think we're judged more,
You are.
you
Says
know.
that. Yeah.
Yep. It's in the word that,
Not not to lift yourself up like that because you'll be judged
Mhm.
more harshly,
Yeah.
because you're in charge of more people and you don't realize that. What you're telling them, you're in charge of what's
Right.
coming out of your mouth. I understand, I know, I know. That's my experience. That's why I went there, Tennessee. Yeah, Belle, forgiveness is so hard.
Howdy.
Hey, Tiny Tim Pose, who's
Tiny
up?
Tim. Tiny Tim is in the house.
Yeah, giving grace to ourselves is some of the hardest forgiving that we have to do. It's true. You're right. It's a good word, Miss Southern Bill.
Yes, it is. Keep on preaching it.
It's funny though, with the spill today, I found of all things, it was not a test, but it must have been like like one of those spiritual gifting quizzes because it was
Mhm.
like written out like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't think my husband would believe half this stuff. Good to see it again.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. But he's more like I always said that when we got married, it was justice and grace living under one roof. He's more of the
Mhm.
justice and I'm more of the grace. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was like,
That's
oh,
the
that's
same way with my relationship,
yeah.
justice and grace, and they balance each other out.
Yeah, they can if they're allowed to. It's
Yeah.
like that's the thing is that you have to allow them to. And you and Chris seem to do a really good job of that. Making allotments and having, sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, you gotta really love the
Differences.
person for who they are in the
Yeah.
marriage,
Yep.
and that's one of the hardest things to do in a marriage.
Exactly. And to think the best of them, that's a hard thing to do when they're doing something that is not so nice,
Mhm.
giving them that, benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, well, they're tired. Okay, well, they're
Yeah.
overloaded, like you would want given to you.
Right. And I think it's important with men, especially, is to remember that they need to be encouraged in a way that they're uplifted, that they're honored. And,
Mm,
I think that God creates us equal,
yeah.
but men need to be honored and
Well, for them, love is respect.
yeah,
They feel love when they're respected.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That one I
so,
that one I struggle with because I just sometimes wanna strangle the crap out of mine after 25 years.
well, I
In
think
all
all
honesty,
women
and he
struggle
probably
with it. I think all women struggle with it, especially
yeah,
today, because the pattern is, the pattern,
okay.
the worldly thought
Yeah.
is that you're equal, period. That and you are equal, but there has to be a balance in the relationship,
Mhm.
and that being created equal doesn't mean that you don't have a say in what goes on in your family and your relationship and all of that. But um, there is somebody that has to have the final say and have
Yeah.
the and I think as a woman, sometimes I struggle with making
With that deferment.
deferment. Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think it's easier to give if you know that you're heard, though, too. Like, if you know
Yeah,
you have a husband that's loving, like it says, like, if they're loving and they are submitting themselves not to God, but they also do submit in a way to the relationship
right,
and they honor the relationship and they honor us as their partner and that God didn't give them a dum dum and that there is kind of like co-counseling because you're one body where one goes the other one is following so there's got to be a mutual respect there
right.
too, which is hard, but yeah, you have to defer that other my girlfriend used to say it like we're equals, I give him that 1 extra percent because
Right.
that's how it was designed, and it works better that way.
Yeah. Well,
But
we're made from man. We're
yeah,
not we're
yeah,
not created from
the dust like they were.
the dust like a
Yeah.
woman is. Yeah.
Hey, look, Idaho's in here too.
Sorry, deep conversation here. But we can have fun. We can have fun.
Yeah.
We don't have to stay on a
Oh, Green Granny, you must have heard the earlier part of us going deep. Call it going deep with the hedgehogs.
It's what happens when I get on. For some reason, I
That's
tend to
fine. I like it. It's a nice, like, it's fine. Everybody has their own personality, and I love that.
right.
I'm headed
I
down.
can be funny and have fun, but
Yes, of course you can. You and I get ourselves in trouble because
oh, yeah.
oh, we can really have fun.
Then we gotta go home and repent and
I
go
know.
home. We're home.
I know. Go back to no computer
Sorry,
and be
Lord.
like,
I'm
"Why did
sorry,
I say
Lord.
that?"
I'm sorry.
Yeah. What was that?
Forgive
She
me.
gave me that same look that did. Oh, I'm glad you got that look, Green Granny. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think one of the sweetest moments with my mom so far was when I was allowed, like, she needed me to help her in the shower.
Right.
And she just, "You're such a good person. You're," you know, like, it was such a humbling experience for her, but all the love that she was pouring out to me while I'm washing, helping wash her.
Mhm.
I was like, "Mom, I'm just your
I
daughter."
think one of the most bonding experiences I've had with my mother-in-law is, um, when she's accepted my help, when she needed help.
Mhm. Yep.
There's something about that, you know,
Yep. There
and
is.
I think it's very interesting.
Oh, is that what happens, Idaho? You zone out on the mundane? So what? Gotta do some deep conversations to keep Idaho. Steph's a good girl to have around. We've got, like, 2
Yep,
Stephs.
she is, she is, she's a good girl.
Yep.
Idaho.
I do too, Miss Southern Belle. I like deep people. That's one thing my husband has said. He's like, "Carol, I'm really not that deep." I'm like,
Uh,
"Okay, all right. I don't know, like, what do I do? I've been married to you for years," and I'm like, "Okay, I kinda knew that, but
yeah,
thank
but
you for saying it."
can you go just a little bit deep? Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
just let's try and
A little
wade in.
bit.
Not also for complete 6 foot, we can just go in a couple steps towards the 3-foot level
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
pool. Yeah, Miss Southern Belle, I do too. I do too.
I do too, for sure.
There are
Well,
times, yeah, there are.
I think there's times to laugh and there's times to cry and there's times
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
have deep conversation with people.
Oh, I have a deep one, but I've gotta make sure um, our friend who's in Israel, who said he has his concerns and wants prayer for Israel right now because we know what's in the news.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that verse in, the Bible or that area in scripture where it talks about they woke up basically and Damascus was kinda no more, like,
Yeah.
annihilated. Damascus lays in Syria. Syria is in cahoots with the country that begins with an I, who does not
Mhm.
like Israel.
Yeah.
Um, but this is the part I didn't know. There's a huge Baal temple in Syria, in that area.
Really?
And then if you look at the ruling, I don't know if you say government style, it was of all things I think I saw it in Wikipedia, and it talked about um, how even though Syria and this country with an I are cohorts,
Mhm.
um, their government style is different. Syria's government style or starts with Baal, and the other one starts with Pan.
Hmm.
Both, yeah, we know who
Mhm.
is both of those people.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that it's like, okay, and that's what I was actually talking to the other
There
friend
is.
about today. Like, it's an age-old war, and it's just gonna keep happening, like Ecclesiastes says, there's nothing new
Yeah.
under the sun until that final showdown. Like, they're just gonna keep we're gonna see similar wars over the time.
Mhm.
I don't think we're going to after this. I think this is kind of the last.
Mhm.
Oh, Rebellious Truth, I'd love to go. I haven't. Have you gone to Israel?
No.
Oh, I
My
would love
mom has. She
to.
really enjoyed it.
I wanna do something that isn't even Bible, like, ooh, one of those tours.
Mhm.
I wanna go to the Dead Sea and, like,
Yeah.
get in that water and
Go
float,
float
and
in
I
the
wanna
Dead
rub that
Sea.
mud
Yeah.
all over, like,
Yeah.
and just feel that, just lay in the
Yeah.
sun,
Mhm.
but
My what was I gonna say? Oh, so I went to I'm getting established. Um, I had to go see
oh,
an
sorry.
oncologist, to follow up on my breast care, with
Yeah.
my post surgery, all that stuff, because I'm in a new state and new anyway. So I'm talking to this doctor, and he's from Israel, and he goes, "So why did you move to Tennessee?" And I said, "Well, politics." And he
Mm,
goes, "Well, I don't know where you stand, but he goes, "You came from Portland." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I just think it's interesting that the same stuff that was going on in Portland, we saw in Israel, and not Israel, in India. Every time before there was an election,
Hmm.
these guys were sent in to cause trouble,
Hmm.
and there was a lot of, all of this stuff. If you know about Portland and Seattle and all that stuff,
Yeah.
the violence and he goes, and the same man that sent them there also sent them in there.
The one with the big S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't know why this guy feels like he needs to, or anybody listens to this guy, but he's doing the same thing. And he goes, and the same thing that he's doing, that he's stirring up
Mm-hmm.
with the blacks and whites in America, he's doing with the Hindus and the um, Muslims
Well,
in.
lighting a fire under old
Mhm.
division.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
and causing more racism and causing more of
Mm-hmm.
all this. And he goes, it's just not okay. And this guy, why do people listen to him? He goes, can you tell me? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no. I'm like, this is a deep conversation.
Well,
We're
his
not
name
even
starts with an S, and he
done.
probably knows somebody that starts with a big S,
Mm-hmm.
and they're buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
maybe he's just cloaked in skin and they're the same person. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, where I don't get that either. Where's that power? You know,
Yeah.
money. A lot of these people already have a lot of money.
Right.
It's like, how much more do you need of the money?
Right. I mean, you have money to pay off people to do things. Yeah. Anyways.
Belle, she's going back to Saudi Arabia. It's hard here, you mean? I'm sorry to hear that for her or him. Oh, she. You did say she. Well, a lot of the Arabs, though, are our allies. It's the divisions, like Laura's talking about, that have
Yeah.
been highlighted so much. We forget we have that. Yeah, there you go, rebellious root. That's what it is. It's divide and conquer.
Yeah. It's, yeah, divide and conquer. And that's what they're doing here. And they're,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. I mean, it's a system. It's like
Yeah,
they've laid out their rule book.
yeah,
It's just there's so many players playing their game that.
yeah. It's so infiltrate. We're so infiltrated, and so are other
Mhm.
countries. They've been planning this for a long time. And when you look back when it was first announced, like the New World Order, the person who was in leadership of our country was
Mhm.
CIA,
Mhm.
formerly CIA.
Mhm.
Yep. That
Yep.
FBI man. No, I haven't seen that one. It shows gals. I'm not following that. So that's supposed to be showgirls.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
FBI is using showgirls. That would make sense. That's how you twist a man's world upside down.
Man's world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't gotten to yet, Rebellious Root. That looked so good, where he goes over to Africa and he's asking the tribesmen like what they think, and they're laughing at him. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding us? Like, they're like, are you kidding us right now? What the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that
they're
looks
more
interesting.
informed. The Bushmen are more informed about, you know, men
Mhm.
and women than it seems like the US is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Tennessee. Wow.
Wow.
It's pretty hot and heavy over there. That's for sure. I've seen that with when Christians have gone over there and they videotaped. And yeah, it was funny though because there was a worship singer who went over there and the guy loved his music and ended
Mhm.
up bringing them into, like, a Hindu temple that was, like, high order or something, not
Oh, wow.
realizing, like yeah, not realizing that these guys were sold out Christians that he brought in, and I think part of him actually didn't care. He just enjoyed the music so much, and these were his new American friends. But it's like what for God to use because other places, they almost got killed in an open
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
They had to really
And there
watch
is Christians getting killed. I mean,
still. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys get it or have I don't know if they have a website, but we get the little magazine, and I can't even read it because it's like
Yeah,
it might have one of those The Voice of the Martyrs, it might have one of those stories, and I just can't.
yeah. There was a recent story about Christians singing to their death.
Mm,
They were all lined up, and I forget what country it was in. I caught the middle of the story. It was on the radio, on Christian radio, and I was just like, and it was in a prominently Muslim country. That's when what I got from the story, and they were going to be executed, and they were singing
oh my god.
worship songs until their death.
Wow.
And I mean, we can't even fathom that here.
No.
Even, I mean, we're we're feeling a pinch of persecution that they've ever felt.
Yeah. Well, I think too, we're almost hypnotized here. It's really weird. Like we're like almost lulled to sleep.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about America that we're kind of lulled to that place because we had so much freedom here.
right.
But, like Tennessee says too, it is like some of the hateful people though that you come in contact with. Because I
Right.
remember we were out and we were doing evangelism. This is how I met my husband, actually. This is so not me. I'm not a street evangelizer.
I had a garden.
Hey, Glenn, nice to see you. And we were downtown Fort Lauderdale during the boat parades during the holidays. And this man, we got within 20 feet of him, and he's, get out of here. I was like, okay, I don't think that was the guy, but
Mm-hmm.
he's probably got something going on that just spoke to us out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we couldn't get near him. He had something already going on that made him not so nice, and then he had something along with him because of not being so nice
Mm-hmm.
that yeah, immediately we didn't even open our mouths other
Wow.
than to say, I think we said hi.
Yeah.
Freaky tiki.
I've come across
Yeah, it does,
one of
tiny.
those. One of those in Portland one time. And,
Amazing.
yeah.
It's so weird. Yeah, absolute power always just yeah, corrupts absolutely. Steph, when I was praying about all this stuff, yeah, God said it was all a show, what
Mm-hmm.
was going on. Like we were watching a play.
Exactly.
And it more, yeah, like even you saying that and just the way it's going too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
It's
they don't have their lines in, so they don't know what to say. The script oh, the script wasn't written for today yet. It's like the Days of Our Lives, how they get scripts or whatever, like,
right.
for,
Right.
every day or something.
And every once in a while they mess up because they don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, they don't know where they're supposed to stand on that certain something.
Well, and I think it's interesting because it's like, wait a minute. If we push this button, this will get us to our narrative quicker. So if we say that we're for them, they'll
Mhm.
start to believe that, it's wrong to believe this way. And so, we'll try this tactic now. And they're all in cahoots
Mhm.
because they're all saying the same thing at the same time.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah. It's terrifying, like, when they show those things, like, about the news and they're all saying the same thing. Like, where they show the
right,
clips
right.
and they're saying the same phrases, and it's like, what is going on here?
And the interesting thing about that is if you look at how God speaks in to the church, and you'll start to see pastors saying the same things and preaching on the same things and all of that
Mhm.
stuff. And it makes you wonder is that evidence of him working on the other side
Mm.
to his people?
for
Because
pushback.
how could they be so connected,
Mhm.
even if they are, because they're not all,
Mm-mm.
you know, it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, that same spiritual connection, but just a dark one,
mhm.
like how you see, yeah, I get it.
Because when I talk to a Christian or somebody of, in fellowship,
Mhm.
you feel that connection.
Yeah. Yeah, like that lady across I
Yeah.
felt so much better knowing that there was at least a Christian on the property
Mhm.
and where my daughter was gonna be going to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that instant kind of connection.
And you just know
Yeah.
it's got to be the same way.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that they recognize one another and know they definitely got their own
And
codes.
they may not even realize it.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah, no, I don't think they do. Well, with the ministry, they didn't know that those voices weren't their own. They
Mhm.
mask themselves as their own voice.
Mhm.
So, there must be a certain ground that's given over when, like Tennessee Bushcrafter put, like, "Power tends to corrupt," like, the whole quote, "And absolute
Mhm.
power corrupts absolutely. Great men are almost always bad men."
Yeah.
Yee! Because they've gone to that level of absolute power or complete adoration. We're not meant to be
We're not
on
meant to be
those.
worshipped.
No. It goes
And
very bad.
and
You see
that's
that in
one thing that
Hollywood.
we do here in America is we
Mhm.
worship.
Yeah,
Well,
we do.
almost in every
People.
country, but we love our idols,
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at the ones that I mean, people have worshiped people that have done horrible, horrific things. So,
It's true. By sickness going. Wait, I missed what you said, Mom. Oh, Southern Belle. Yeah, I know, Miss Southern Belle. What is that about? Like all of a sudden, nobody wants to work too at the most convenient time. Not
mhm.
like as they're leading up to, oh, you'll own nothing, but you'll be happy.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
see how that goes together. I'm not
yeah.
happy with people drilling to my house even, like, my neighbors are putting up a fence, and I heard the drill go into the side of our house because of our 0 lot line. And I'm like, "Darn it, that was just into our house."
Wow.
Like, I don't like that. And I had my husband, I said, "I think they just drilled into our house," and sure enough, yep, to put the post in, that's how the guy did it, and it's like, please make sure he uses some kind of seal." Even though it's a concrete house, there's still stuff that can get in,
Mhm.
get up to the wood in our attic, and I don't want it to. But yeah, it's like, I don't know if I wanna give ownership over to evil entities.
Right.
No, thank you. I don't think I'll be happy.
No. No. I mean, and they can do it's like having the uninvited guest or
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
you have relatives that come over to stay and they stay too long.
Yeah. Sorry, we have a 3-day maximum in the house,
Yeah.
otherwise,
And you can't
we'll
tell them to go away. Like in Portland,
Mhm,
there was this another foster mom that was friends with my mom. She owned a home and
mhm.
she rented out a room. Well, the woman, after 3 months, stopped paying rent. And according to the bylaws there, she couldn't kick her out
Oh my
because
goodness, that's some
she
messed up bylaws.
lived there. Because she lived there. She couldn't kick her out.
Ugh, what?
And so um, she, there was
No,
like,
don't go away, Carol. Who told you to go away?
there was no laws of protection. It was really sad. And
That's
I
ridiculous.
don't, yeah, she ended up moving out of her own house and giving it over to the lady because she couldn't, unless she sold the property or
Yeah.
um, she spent $30,000 trying to evict this lady. She couldn't get her out.
Oh my gosh. I would have just started walking around naked and dropping stink bombs everywhere.
Hmm. I would have
Make
done
it
some
make it
crazy stuff.
extremely weird so they get out.
Yeah,
Or hire people, like, to come in and make it uncomfortable for that person.
yeah, for sure.
That's evil. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, Lord. No, I wouldn't. I
Lord.
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Instant
I'll
conviction.
be right back. I gotta go potty. Not poop.
Okay. Okay.
Potty.
All right. You're just going potty. Something might slip out, but we won't talk about poop. I haven't seen that one yet. I want to see that. I think I saw part of that movie, the No Time to Die. I might have seen part of it. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. Yeah, Miss Southern Belle, I wanted to like sometimes you can't help sometimes you just can't help people even if you try. They have to do it themselves because they have to see that they need help with something. It's always better. True, Tennessee. That's a good insight. They are forced, especially in leadership, forced to kind of make decisions that a lot of people would never want to have to make. Like that, I forget, there used to be like that story where it was like your only child was in this predicament, but you're basically a leader of a country and, you know, the country is in a worse predicament that could just tilt at the same time. And yeah, I can't imagine. They also put them in those kind of positions, Tennessee Bushcraft or the other governments do, to have stuff over on them. And that would turn somebody pretty sour, I'm sure.
Yep, for sure. I'm gonna put the link in the chat if anybody else wants to come up. Like Mr. Gear or something.
Idiocracy, yes, that is our new government. Idiocracy.
Idiocracy for sure.
Mm-hmm. I want a democracy, not an idiocracy. I like that one. Can we have that shirt?
That's really good.
I think Chris would love that shirt.
Yeah, he would love that shirt.
Mm-hmm. With his dry sense of humor. Just
Mm-hmm.
wear it around. See?
I sometimes laugh and I said, "Hun, did you just cough up some like dust or something with that?"
So, people are like, gosh, he's so mean. I'm like, no, that's his sense of he's not being mean. That's his sense of humor.
Actually, he's the biggest little fluff ball ever.
Oh.
He's so funny.
Oh, cool, Rebellious Truth. I didn't know you did panels. Awesome. Hey, Q, you're back. Or you went silent. We hadn't heard your sweet voice.
She
I
went
hope
to
you're doing better. Oh, that's right. You went to take care of, was it poison ivy or not poison ivy?
I'm glad you do, Q.
Rebellious with yeah, movies? No, there hasn't been many. Actually, I did see what was that movie with my daughter? It was the new Avengers one, and then I realized, oh, my daughter likes the character that's actually a Scarlet Witch. Great.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, oops. Thanks,
Oops.
my sweet Christian homeschool girl.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like lovely. But what's weird too is they make kind of their story, you feel empathy for these
Mm-hmm.
characters. Like,
Yeah.
her backstory is just horrible.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I can see how they work that, but she's still this Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I took a shot. Oh, okay, the dust off of you. Are you better now, Q?
Stop the itching.
Yeah, Tennessee, that is our society is getting that way. It's a shame. Hives, uh-huh. Oh, have a good night, Glenn.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah, my husband's dealing with the same thing outdoors, working commercial properties. He does lawn and ornamental, for those of you who don't know. I'm like his balance, bringing the organic.
Yeah.
He's the one out there spraying stuff and keeping us in a house.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can do the organic stuff, but they do offer organic um, means. It's just it would cost the people so much more money because the application rate is a lot more.
Mm.
That's what he said. Like they have to apply it more often. It's not like they
Yeah,
spray it
we had
once and
somebody
done.
come in a lot more often. They did mint and some other things for bugs and stuff like that. And I forget what the other ones were. But it smelled really good, but it was all organic. But we had to come in. They had to come in every month.
Yeah, because they need to, yeah, it fades
Yeah,
away faster.
yeah.
Make it you
Hi,
did hear.
Grace. How you
He
doing?
heard me. He heard me what I would do with that situation. Tell me that isn't a good idea, huh? Come on, Robert. You know. You know. Unless she liked it. That's the only thing. The person might have liked it because it is kind of weird out there.
Are you talking about Portland? Portland's not weird.
Oh, it's so
Normal.
normal.
It's totally normal
Yeah,
there.
Portland are so like laid back and normal and just the heartland of
Mhm.
America.
Just heartland.
The heartland
Bless
of
their hearts,
idiocracy.
as they'd like to say in Tennessee, when you give somebody a backhanded compliment, you say,
Yes. Bless
bless your
their
heart,
heart.
with
Your
a nice
mama
big
must have drank a
smile.
lot. I can't help.
I didn't realize that. I mean, I was this one lady was like, "Oh, bless your heart," and I'm like, that just doesn't sound right.
Well, sometimes they mean it like they feel bad for you. I
Yeah,
I honestly think there is the backhanded
yeah,
compliment, but then there's, "Oh, bless your heart," like, "Oh, that's awful." Like, "Oh, I
yeah.
really feel for you."
I
But
was
yeah.
at when I was at the doctor's office the other day, this nurse kept on saying she must have been just out of nursing school, and she's taking my stuff, and then because she's working with another nurse, and she's like, I get you, I get you. She kept, and I was like, okay, and then the next sentence was she'd ask a question, I get you, I get you. I'm just I get you. Okay, how many times can we say, "I get you, I get you"? What the I get you, I get you. I'm nervous, I don't know what to do. It's just,
Poor thing. I get
uh,
wow. Are you sure she was a nurse? Maybe a CNA? Maybe
no, she had an RN, but she was like,
wow.
yeah,
A little different.
a
Bless her
resident
heart.
resident
Bless
nurse.
her little heart. She made it through RN school, so
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, that's what I never understood, like, I struggled through school, and then you would see these ding dongs that were more dingy than me with common sense and life stuff, like what Tennessee but they were so book smart that they were gonna end up with those really cushy jobs, and it used to piss me off. It used to be like,
Yeah,
"Really? God, please
yeah,
help me
yeah.
with my ADHD. This is awful." I go and I study and I go to take this test, and these little
Oh, it killed
ding
me
dongs get
because
their
because of my dyslexia, I don't have the book smarts, so but,
yeah, that was me.
um, I in my job that I did in Oregon, I worked under delegations of nurses,
Mhm.
and so I would do a lot of things, and doctors would delegate things to me and stuff like that, so I did things like trachs and all kinds of,
Yeah.
E tubes, NG tubes, all kinds of stuff, and nurses would come over, and I'd had to be delegated to for some of these projects every year. The nurse would come over, "How do you do that? Can I write it down, please?"
Rebellious Truth, you have to usually be on Chrome. Sometimes it will give you trouble. Oh,
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I've just woken up.
Good. Good.
Rebellious Truth, I forget. Where are you from? What state?
Hold on 1 second.
She's
Okay.
from another country.
Oh, I just heard her accent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you doing?
Are you an Aussie
Yes.
or are
Am I
you from,
what?
are you Australian? What's that
No,
accent?
South African.
Oh, dang it. I made that mistake. How could I
When I
do
went
that?
to
That's
England,
right. We know you
everyone.
from Chris. Chris Wyatt? Is that where we
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can
Yep.
forgive me.
Yes.
I've had a day.
She has a really good channel too, where she talks about the hard stuff too.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna have to
Try.
get over to your channel. I
Thank
haven't.
you.
haven't-
No, I think, I don't know. I just wanted to comment and say I think you ladies are talking really relevant things, and I think it's so important to remember good biblical values. I think the pendulum of, the further right you go, then there's this juxtaposition to more, like, in other words, the further freedom there is, the worse it gets on the other side. If that makes any sense, the pendulum swings.
Yeah,
no, I
that's
mean,
okay. She's doing the orientation, which I
I'm just trying to
appreciate.
mess with it.
That's
There we go.
better.
That's better.
That's better. Thank you. Yeah, but you mean the further it go, like the further we go in one direction, then when it does swing back, it swings back further in that left.
And yeah, and I think that's what's happening in the world right now. I mean, I've never been to America. I'd love
Mhm.
to visit.
Yeah,
But it's massive. I know it's huge
yeah.
compared. I mean, South Africa's quite big as well, but I mean,
Mhm,
you can't compare. You can't compare. So
mhm,
I think it's a real mixture of different people, different
mhm.
ideas, different cultures. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the one thing that in South Africa, the BDS movement. I don't know if you've heard of BDS in America.
Mm-mm.
No.
So basically, it's boycott, diversify, and what's it? Diversify and sanction. I think they basically try and blackmouth Israel to say it's an apartheid state. Now,
Wow.
and I've heard a lot of American Jews actually talk about how Israel is an apartheid state, and being from a country that's lived through apartheid, and I was part of that,
Yeah.
obviously, growing up I was born in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were still living since till 1994 in apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand what apartheid is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Israel, I spoke to a woman who's a pharmacist. Her boss is an Arab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
they live in a small town.
Yeah.
In South Africa, no boss would have been black or Indian or even, you know, colored. None of that. And when I say colored here in South Africa, I mean mixed race. That's
Okay.
what we
Hmm.
call it. I don't know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it's called in America.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sort of gets me, is that people in America, like, they like to be dumb, especially the UN. They like to dumb down Israel and blame Israel for lots of things, but they have
Yep.
no idea. Unless you go to Israel, you will
Mm.
see how Arabs and Jews and Christians live harmoniously
Yeah.
and in an incredible sort of. Sorry, I've just woken up, so my brain's not firing on all cylinders.
It's okay.
Um, in a symbiotic relationship,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
everyone, and mutualistic. Everyone's living together. Everyone's, yes, you get the fractions. Yes, you get
Mm-hmm.
all
Yeah.
the
The
terrible
extremists.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Mm,
But that's what they are. They're extremists that they're
yeah,
dealing with. And then that's all that they highlight in the news and we hear about.
Hmm.
correct.
Well, our friend is the one he's there, and then that's what he's hearing. I don't know if you watch Amir. He's actually a pastor. Amir, I can't think of his last name. And he
Okay.
actually put it, I would say it's been a week now. The state of Israel had gotten rid of another person that was in charge of helping them create. It wasn't the nuclear program, but it was alongside. It made the bomb like smart, so
Mm-hmm.
it could reach its destination better, like with GPS and everything. Well, they took him out, like in broad daylight. They took him out to try and slow down this weapon they know is being made somewhere that they've got it, intel for or whatever. And Amir was saying, even like a week ago, we might be seeing like Israel strike before it becomes that bomb. Like
Yeah.
there, and that was what was scaring to our friend, because he's hearing that and he's in Israel and
Hmm.
he's afraid it's going to go nuclear. And I told our friend, I was like, well, your Israel has been at this a long time. They know what war is. They know how war's fought, and they know now they're dealing with nuclear weapons. So they're going to be smart about it. Not just hit them first. They're doing it in a way that it's like they're going after the people in the program that are in charge of the science, in charge of, they're trying as best they can.
Amir's very good at explaining.
Yeah, they're trying as best they can not to go into a war, is what it really sounds like. They're trying to annihilate the ones that want to annihilate Israel, the extremists, and take them out so they don't have to go after the whole country as a punishment. Like that's what it sounded like. I was trying to encourage our friend because he's very nervous. He's in the middle of it. He's there. But there are pockets where it's like Christians and Jews and Muslims are all living harmoniously. You think like, well, why can't it be that way around the whole country? Why does it have to be, and there's plenty of people caught in that paradox. But anyway, you were saying, so apartheid is, what's the difference with what you feel?
So with apartheid, so what it's an Afrikaans sort of in English apartheid. So like apart. So literally in the old days, the only way a black person would be in a white person's home is if they were working there. In the old days, they would never, there was no mixed, you weren't allowed. If they caught you that you were in a relationship with someone of another color, you would be arrested.
Yeah, that was not too long ago in our history either.
In the 1950s and 40s and 30s. If, you couldn't, there was certain Black people weren't allowed to go to beaches where white people went, shopping centers. And that's with the vaccine passports. That's so ironic, is that in the old days, blacks after had to have a pass on them, like a card, like in the Second World War, every Jew had to have their papers. You had to have your papers. If you were caught without your papers, you were arrested. And the same was happening in this country. Obviously, I was very young. I remember watching Mandela come out of prison. My mom and I glued to the TV screen. It was such a harmonious day. We watched his inauguration. My friend who now lives in Israel was at the inauguration. Everyone came together. Everyone wanted this country to succeed. Everyone, and still,
and that was today, like us with Obama. That was like the US with Obama. We had no problem with having a black president. In fact, definitely more people actually voted for him than voted for the one that's in office now. They had those same hopes. Like they thought change meant change for good, not whatever it started. Sorry. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, put me on mute.
Mandela coming into office.
Let me just open the back door for the dog, because I have a little robin that says good morning and taps on the window. And now the dog wants to say good morning. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, I love her background. I almost thought it was the green screen, and it's real.
No, it was real.
So cozy.
So it's morning here at 6:30. What's the time? 6:30 in the morning or something like that. No, it's 7, just after 7.
Oh, okay. So you're 6 hours ahead of me in Florida.
But thank you for letting me share.
So basically you're saying because you guys were so far towards separation, now it's like the same group is doing it back to the whites in South Africa? Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Now there's laws for. Yeah. Now there's all this. It's called BEE. And it's basically Black economic empowerment, and they're putting all the laws in place that you've got to have certain levels in your business. In other words, certain management, certain things, and that's all very well. I mean, I understand if a person is qualified and a person is capable of doing the job, fantastic.
Great.
But in government, they've allowed family members to come in. I mean, I just saw a news article. I posted it on Facebook that one of the Northern Territories, because they divided the country into provinces instead of not provinces. What am I? God, I'm so asleep. But sort of smaller designated municipalities, okay?
Mhm.
And one of the the northern municipalities, which has a lot of trouble,
Mhm.
they worked out that they have to do a check on their payroll because they don't actually know how many verified employees are on the payroll. So they're putting people, ghosts. They
Yeah.
found 1,400 ghost employees just on that municipality payroll, or that sort of local,
Wow.
that government,
Hmm.
that area. That they have corrupted. I mean, 10 years. I remember there was an American diplomat. My son was going to a private school where a lot of kids from all over the world was attending,
Mhm.
and I overheard an American diplomat saying to another diplomat, "Get out of this country as soon as you can." Also, I
Yeah.
think the one guy was living here with his family. He'd married a South African, and he said, "This country is so corrupt, so
Yeah.
corrupt." And it's
Yeah.
so sad because you know who's really the suffering of the suffering? Yes, there's a huge white majority, and it's not about black and white, but
Mm-mm.
skilled people, people who knew how to do things, are living poverty, like in
Yeah.
terrible poverty.
Yeah.
And still the masses, the black masses, there are some people I see in the streets, and it breaks my heart. They will never, ever have a job, ever.
Mm-hmm.
They will not know what it means to earn a salary and put food on the table for themselves and their family because of the ANC. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But
Yeah.
anyway, enough about
No, it's very interesting because Bob sent he sent like an email, and it was I don't know what area, it was South Africa though, and
mm,
basically it was one of those groups that was very militant, and I think it was before some sort of election,
Mm-hmm.
just hauled off and started using automatic weapons into the police station of a certain
Mm-hmm.
area. And Bob's opinion was, watch out, that's coming here soon
Mm-hmm.
enough. And Bob's very much of like his wife, because of her Filipino
Mm-hmm.
upbringing and being
mm,
there when the Philippines was in that, like she was really young, in that place where communism was trying to take over and had a big stronghold. She sees what's going on in America right away. And he
Mm-hmm.
said it before. She wants to know, when can I get a gun? Can I have a gun? How many guns can I have? Because that's what they did in my country. That is the same sayings. They're
Yeah.
chanting the same things. It's a communist
Well,
chanting.
that's exactly what this doctor was saying, is that they were doing that there and now they're doing this here.
Yeah.
And it brought me back to that place where I was in that country and I was living that again. And I
Mhm.
was just like, when they're, trying to burn down the Portland police station that wasn't too
Mhm.
far from where we lived,
Yep.
and in Seattle as well, with the cops in it, and it's
Mhm.
like, you know,
Yeah. It makes absolutely no sense.
yeah.
but
Absolutely no sense.
but it's so incredible that as you're in America and I'm here in South Africa, and we can have conversations, important conversations,
Hmm.
meaningful conversations, learn from each other,
Yeah.
and that's where I think the difference is between us. God created us, all equal and in his image, and well, and it's so important to understand and communicate. They say
Yeah.
the one difference between us from animals is that we have speech, and we need to use our speech carefully, and uplift each other and
Hmm.
help each other, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Amen.
That's I think the hardest thing is to know what to do right now. Like even with our speech, because speech is violence now. I know how Chris loves that saying. Speech,
uh,
speech is
It's
violence.
violence.
Well,
Yes.
why? Because it might actually change something. Like what how should we use our speech to do that? Because a lot of us are fed up,
people
like
are
already
terrified in
and
America. People
terrified.
are terrified to talk. I mean, this Matt Walsh's documentary, Matt goes to a woman, I don't know where it was. I think it was in
Mhm.
Washington somewhere. They had a women's feministic march,
Hmm.
and he's amongst hundreds and like thousands of women, and he says, "What is a woman?" And everyone just like doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, because
you
they
know,
don't want to get
and
beat
it's
up.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Us
It
as
is.
women, we're scared to say women are caregivers, are nurturers, are
Mhm.
Yeah.
people that have reproductive organs that can
Yeah.
produce and have a living baby.
Mhm.
And even if
Yeah.
you can't do that, we are, it's in our DNA. It's
We're
part
not
of,
even allowed to define that. I mean, as you know, as a previous foster parent in the state of Oregon, we were not allowed to say that only women can give birth to children. That was a definition that is
Yeah.
we
I'd
can't.
like to see what male is given birth, though. That would be very
That is
interesting.
actually real male. You know,
Yes, that
and
is genetically and yeah, biologically male.
that it was
mhm,
born with a womb and ovaries inside of them.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
Listen. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have any serious. I mean, how do I explain this? So I'm not homophobic. I work in a field where there are lots of people from
Yeah.
various places and things and what
Yeah.
have you. I mean, but if you treat me, if you're whatever, and you treat me with disrespect and contempt,
Yeah.
I won't like you because of who you are, not because
Yeah.
of
Right.
what you are, where you
Yeah.
Exactly.
come from, or what the
Not
color of
because
your
of who you
skin
sleep
is.
Exactly.
with in your bedroom or
Exactly.
wherever. It's you. It's
Give
your
me
It's
the
you
same
and how
everything.
respect
you
I
treat
give
people.
you, and I'm okay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Am I
Um,
going to let you teach my child? I don't know, but I'm okay with you. I'm going to give you the respect you give me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
correct.
It's
And
mutual.
Look,
that's
I
Yeah.
how.
It's
will
mutual.
look at you a bit funny. I mean, I don't know if you saw Dr. Phil, but if I met a chap who had long hair and a beard and makeup on, I would be a bit suspect. I must be honest.
Mhm.
I would be, I would be like, really? And why do you do this?
Yeah. Well, that's the
um,
thing is like they are um there was a grown man and he was talking about he had come back out of a transgender lifestyle. And
Mhm.
he was like, if it grabbed a hold of me, our children in this country don't have a chance because they are brainwashing them right now
Yeah.
from a young age.
There was a woman that was speaking her testimonies on YouTube, and I forget who she was talking to. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But she was talking about from the age 9, or no, the age 13, she got a phone, and she didn't have a lot of friends, and she didn't have a lot of this, and so she started reaching out on social media
Yeah.
and found her niche there and found friendships there, and people started talking and speaking into her life, telling her that she was transgendered even before she
Yeah.
identified as anything,
Yeah.
because she felt a certain way, or she didn't know about
Mhm.
this, or
Yeah.
and so she started playing around with pronouns, and she started doing this and that,
Yeah.
and she was brainwashed
Mhm. Yeah.
after a certain amount of time to believe that she
Yeah.
was transgendered,
Yeah.
until she started going through the process and
Mhm.
started having reactions to the process where she was starting to take hormones.
Yeah.
And she said, wait a minute, something's not right. My body's not reacting to this well.
Mhm.
And it's like, if I was really this, shouldn't my body react better to this? And,
Mhm.
different things like that. And it was just like, it was one of those aha moments, it's like, this is really happening. And I have let's just say somebody in my family, a very young, impressionable person in my family, and she's in a school in this town, and she is playing around with pronouns.
Mhm.
And
We all are right now.
they all are, and it's
Yep.
like,
They
why?
don't know what to, like Ruth was saying, like they're scared
They're
because they
scared.
see their peers accepting it or whoever. They see the celebrities, that this is the
Mhm.
new norm and they're following along with it. And that's frightening. That's just
Right.
mm,
frightening for
mm,
parents that are like, no, 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 no.
And
Because,
I
mm.
tell you, like in cities where I was, in Portland and stuff like that, cities like that, I mean, it's almost pushed upon you.
Mm.
It's if you don't fill out your pronoun, you know, It's like, ma'am, you didn't put in your pronoun. What is your pronoun? It's like,
Mm,
why do I have
mm,
to do that? I don't have to
yeah.
do. No, we need your pronoun so we can identify you properly.
Yeah. So
No,
we
look,
can
it's
group you, so we can separate you some more.
Mm-hmm.
We need
Mm-hmm.
to know how you vote, who you sleep with, and are you an alien? Oh,
look.
wait, no, that's another one. That's right. Did you
I
come
see.
across the border legally or illegally? No, we
I
don't.
was an alien for a while. I carried a green
That's
card.
right. Canadian. That's
Yeah.
right.
I see Gardening Warrior Q says, mentioning their 13-year-old. So
Mhm.
I have a 16-year-old. Okay. I can't find it now in the comments, but it's so important as parents to sort of not encourage, but tell our children it's normal when you're growing, especially during your teenage years. It is normal to feel like you don't know who you are. I
Yeah.
know people in their 70s who still don't know who they are.
Mhm.
Right.
It's normal to not be sure what your dreams are, what your, focus on one thing that you love. Focus,
Yeah.
it's so important for us to just support our children and just say, it will come right. It's normal not to know who you are. It's normal not to know what you want to do in this world.
Yeah.
And my son, thank God, I mean, he's online a lot, obviously,
I'll be right back.
with gaming and stuff. And he he just he experiences the hatred from when he says, no, I'm actually a heterosexual male, like I'm straight, I'm not binary, I'm
Mhm.
not non, I know who I am, I like women, I like girls. Not that he's, and it's just important. And he gets trouble. He get people bully him, but he doesn't care, because I've told him, listen, there are more than 7 billion people on this planet. You're gonna like some of them, and some of them might not like you, and you might not like them all. And guess what? That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. We have this idea in society, and I'm from South Africa, where we feel we have to fit in.
Yeah.
It's an intrinsic human want that
Where's
we
my
have to
tribe?
feel.
Where's my
Yeah,
tribe?
where's my
Yeah.
tribe? And I think that's where community and being close to a religion and being part of something in your community is so important,
Yeah.
and belonging to something. But our children need guidance. Our children need to know that it's normal. And parents, you need to be strong. You need
Yeah.
to really tell them it's completely normal. You feel like you sympathize with an owl, and you want to, but you're a beautiful human child from God.
Mm-hmm.
You're a soul on this earth, and you have purpose. And
Just
even though
because
you
you
haven't
like,
discovered.
just because you're a girl and you like to play baseball or football doesn't mean that you're a boy. It means that you like football or baseball. That's
Right,
all, you know,
that's right. Yeah,
and vice versa. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, they've found there are feministic men. There are men who are a little bit more feminine, and yes, there are women that are also a little bit more masculine. But
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that they're completely gender now changed.
Yeah.
And as parents, we have to stay strong. You just have to guide your children,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's all I basically wants to impart. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna love and leave you, ladies.
Oh,
All
okay.
Um,
right.
Have a great day. I was
thank
listening on my telephone while I was peeing.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on. And if
Yeah.
I do lots of funny things on my channel, well, not funny, like I have different personalities.
Oh, cute.
You had some good comedians on and stuff
So
like
you
that.
usually do like skit stuff like Chris,
Yeah,
how
like
he'll just suddenly pop up with a hat on and be somebody different.
that was yeah. I decided my guest didn't arrive, and I decided, this is getting boring. Let me change something, and I did an impression of someone who, I suppose, um so a very Afrikaans accent would be like I am talking now.
Mhm,
When you don't talk, when you try to speak English, but you're
Mhm.
actually Afrikaans, and then you sound like this, you
okay.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
like
it's not
we have
really.
Spanglish. We have
Yeah.
Spanglish here
Spanglish.
in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, it's like, Jose, how are you? Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
like that kind of, like I
where you
spoof a
mix it.
lot, and it's
You
no
mix it up.
disrespect,
Mhm.
but it's funny as the genre of, you know, but
Yeah.
I have a few
Yeah.
others. And then there's crazy Senator LaLuna who comes on full moon, who's wacky. And
I love it.
yeah, so have a look-see, and hope to
Sure.
catch you ladies again.
Yep.
Hope you do too.
Take
That was
care.
awesome. Have
Bye,
a good
Ruth.
night. Bye, Ruth.
Bye.
Let me see. Does Gear have a? No, I do. Let me see if I can link it. Get her. Ah, hold on. I'm
I
over
wonder
on
where
my right
Bob
here.
is. Bob doesn't know that I'm live.
No, I don't think he does. Let me get. Yeah, I haven't seen him today.
Can't believe I'm up this late. Well, it's not
I know you're doing really well, and no coffee either.
no coffee. I think I do better without coffee, obviously.
Yeah, I was doing really well too without it. It's just a matter of getting off of it again. It's going to be the hard part. But that's the same thing with trying to get off of stuff in my diet, because I did have that time where I was.
I think I always felt sick too because of always having headaches and stuff. So that always made me tired too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. From what? Like, you mean the dehydration from the coffee?
Well, not the dehydration, from the
Raising
just
your blood
having higher
pressure?
blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give me headaches, and hence I was always tired because I always had a headache.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I probably
yeah,
should put my mom's cuff on and check my own blood pressure then, because I do get those migraines. Like tonight we came back, but I'm pretty sure that was a migraine. I got one of those, I don't know what they call it, but it's like, I would call it like a rebound or reflexive. It's a headache like after things finally like settle,
mm-hmm.
you can get a migraine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they come on, but that's the kind I started to get when we came home. I was feeling it too in there, in the office coming on, and I'm like, oh no, let us get home.
Right.
Let me get to the Advil before this builds. Like, I even checked to see if we had rain coming. I'm like, okay, no, it's not the pressure system. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, well, we just put money down, and now it's a sure thing that she's going there pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And the relief too oh, she also told us that sometimes like a lot of the kids end up being homeschool kids.
Mm.
And on the way there, I just felt the need to talk to Hannah about, okay, what are your goals for
Mm-hmm.
going here? Like, why are you going? I'm like, and she's just sitting there quiet because she's quiet. And I was like, is it to make friends? Oh yeah. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, it's not.
We don't spend money for you to make
No.
friends.
I'm like, you can be friendly and you can, make connections that, like friendly
It's not to party.
connections,
It's not to
but
this.
it's not to make your friends.
Yeah.
Like, you're there to get the most out of this program and this school that you can get out of it, and to do as well as you can.
Yeah.
Like, and the friendships can't detract from that, because and it's so funny. The director came in, who's the director of the programs there, and his name was Justin. And I said that the conversation, he goes, thank you. He goes, I can't just thank you for doing that, because that is one thing that the girls that come to the program, and even guys, struggle with.
Yeah.
Is intention. Like, what's your intention walking through that door?
Right.
And no, I did that for her too, because my first year of college, I was like lost. My
Yeah.
mom just dropped me off in Pennsylvania, and I was like, holy freedom. I've never felt this before.
Right.
With no guidance. Like, yeah, of course I'm going to party. Like,
Yeah.
of course. Come home with lower than a 2.0. Yeah, of course that's going to happen. What do you think? Was it a little bit of a dinghy?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about easy? What did I miss? That he's an easy bake oven. How did he become that?
Who's an easy bake oven?
Gear, you're jealous
Oh.
of my easy bake oven. What did I miss? Is that from when we were all talking about cooking? What
And
is
now
Oh, just because Gear likes Barbies and easy bake, they're doing the
oh,
gender thing. Oh no,
oh,
I'm
okay.
being a hermit just because Gear likes Barbies. Oh my gosh, what did I miss? Oh, okay,
I
Gear
used to
started
play
it.
with cars, toy
Yeah.
cars, when I was a
That's
kid.
hilarious. Well, and I was going to say, like working with the youth group, I saw girls go through like we used to call it a tomboy phase. They go
Mhm.
through a tomboy phase, and then suddenly you see them in their either older high school or in
They
college,
get
and they're
interested in boys.
mhm,
Some of them take a little longer
mhm,
because
yep.
the hormones come on at different times.
Mhm. Well, and there's that awkward phase too,
Uh-huh.
where they don't know how to dress up like
Right.
a young lady, like they just are still in comfortable
Mhm.
playwear, I guess, but not the oh, that didn't come out right. Yeah, comfortable clothing. Help me. Like, shorts and T-shirts, they're not
Mhm.
wearing
Mhm.
anything super feminine then or even feminine colors. They're more
Yeah.
sporty spice than they are, you
Yeah.
know,
And that's okay.
and that's totally fine, and that's totally normal. It doesn't make them a boy.
Yeah.
Like, even if you call him a tomboy, it still doesn't make him a boy.
Right. Exactly.
They don't grow a penis. It doesn't happen. Sorry. Sorry for everyone out there that thinks it
Living.
does, that's
Yeah.
trying to force this agenda. I've never seen a girl that, is a tomboy that suddenly just sprouts
Grew
one
a
of those.
penis.
Mhm. "Oh, I like cars, and I like to be a mechanic, and I like to do" "Oh, my goodness, what is that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the plastic surgery is a huge issue, and that is where I think Laura and I were going when she was telling that story about that girl who was influenced. Was it
Mhm.
a girl or a guy? Because
It
I
was a
saw
girl.
one where there was a guy. I saw
I
one
saw
where
a girl, and then there's also that I am
and they
I used to
had
have that show of that girl, and I don't know how
oh,
I
yeah,
am
that's not a girl. The one that's the
it was
boy
a
that has the
boy that was trying to become
be a
a
girl.
girl, and
Jazz? Is it the
Jazz,
one?
I am
Yeah.
Jazz.
Yeah, I haven't really
Yeah.
watched that too much
I
at all.
watched a little bit because I'm into
Curious about the mindset?
the mindset. I
Mhm.
wanna know what makes these people tick and why they're ticking this way, and, and I'm firm in my belief, so I didn't think it was gonna sway me in any way, but
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting that after she had the operation, because they put her on hormones so early, it wrecked her body that she couldn't get the right part. And now she's kind of switched a script a little
Mhm.
bit. I'm not sure if anybody else knows the story, but
Is she going back on what she decided? Because it's not
she felt like she shouldn't have done it. She shouldn't have.
that's a lot of young people that this happens to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they that's what happens. And I even know through Calvary Chapel, there was a pastor and his name was Cy Rogers, I think.
Hmm.
And he lived like I don't know what they if that's transgender where you dress up like female, but he was
Hmm.
male. And he lived that life for a little good while.
Hmm.
And part of it, he said, like he was always feminine. So kind of like society and himself, he was
Hmm.
lost because he was a
I'm listening. I'm just going to turn off.
feminized like male. And it took all it took really for him to realize that he was a man was he spent time with men and men acknowledged him, and that is what he realized he was craving too, and why he dressed up as a female was he never had a strong male role model,
Hmm.
and having all that femininity, he got attention from gay males. Well, it was
It makes you wonder because a male and for a child, a male and a female role is so important. And when men don't get that playful boundary setting that a male gives a male child,
mhm,
that some of these things get confused and cross over.
yeah,
And when a female or daughter of a male doesn't get that loving care from a male,
mhm,
you know, and they get confused with, you
Yeah.
know.
They look for it in anyone really, but then they look for it too in females if the male also was too harsh and they
Mhm.
thought the male was a jerk
Yeah,
and didn't wanna deal with men in general because dad was a jerk,
right.
to put it nicely. Yeah, the same-sex parent is their biggest role model, but they need that affirmation too from the other parent that, like, I was a total daddy's girl and I liked to fix things, and just the littlest bit of affirmation meant so much to me, knowing that I was doing my father proud.
Mhm.
And my mother, I had that, like, I needed that role model as far as she was a very good cook, and she did the laundry like a Nazi. You didn't get near the laundry. Don't touch the laundry area. My gosh, and put your pants back on that hanger the right way, like
Yeah.
she ironed them, including your
Mhm.
T-shirts that she
Mhm.
ironed. Um, but yeah, you're right, you need that role model too, the same sex, like I had a pretty good feminine role model, and then my father, same thing, he was a good male role model. Um, you like the children need them both, and ever since it's even some people in the Black community talk about it when they allowed people to stay on welfare too easily and gave them credits towards these children that they're having out of wedlock.
Mhm.
It broke up families in the Black community like clockwork because they just men knew government was going to pay for their kid,
Mhm.
so they weren't too worried about it. And women had more babies so they could get more money for
Yeah,
the government, and it just did a job.
yeah. That happened in the welfare community. I
Mhm,
saw that on both sides, you
mm,
know,
yeah, because
especially
there's definitely people that need the help. It's just
especially in the '80s. It
yeah,
was, you know,
yeah,
yeah, you'd
no,
have babies just to okay, time to pop out another baby
yeah,
because
that was and that's all that, my son's mother knew how to do, like, because she saw, I think, that from her mother,
Mhm.
like and I don't know if she had the personality type to get a job because she, from what I understood, was very obstinate, maybe
Mhm.
probably like what I'm dealing with Malachi, like, even as far as oppositional, defiant.
Clients, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Q. That must be so hard, honey. I'm sorry. Well, you could also have a male role model that's a complete abusive jerk
Yeah.
or emotionally abusive, so it's hard. That's hard too. Like, you want the male and female there, but then they can also create trauma, as we've seen.
My kids, I kept them around church,
Yeah.
not that everybody needs, but, the big brother programs and stuff like that are
Mhm.
sometimes good for that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
there was a lot of men in my children's life. Um, I divorced, my ex-husband when the oldest was 14. And
Mhm.
so there was a lot of men around them still that,
Yeah.
could be there for them and
Yeah. Could show them what the
mhm,
character looks like as far as yeah, and how they
yeah,
should treat women really instead of maybe what they saw.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is important for them to see that too, Tennessee Witchcraft, you're right. And yes, they do. I agree. They have the unreal expectations, and God forbid if you have one kid that is, A personality type and the other a B,
mhm,
and they look to the A and dote on that one who's meeting closer to those unreal expectations, and then the B always feels like they fall short. Even though that's just their nature, they're not gonna be like that, driven A
mhm.
all the time on. So yeah, I agree. That's some fathers do that. And moms can do that too. You see
Look into the age when that breaks, because I know that when my daughter, I think, was 15,
Yeah.
It was
So.
in the state of Washington too, Q.
Mhm.
She didn't have to visit her father anymore, and her father was very abusive towards her.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know what it was. My daughter, um,
Oh, yeah, I'm
he
sorry.
targeted her for some reason. So
Yeah. They can also like have it written in the papers too. If when you are divorcing, if the child ever decides that they do not want to live with one or the other parent, that right becomes theirs at, such and such a time, like 9 years old and up. Like as soon as they can really see their life with that parent and what that parent's like and make that decision for themselves. But so many divorces aren't that clear cut.
yeah,
Yeah, ours was 9, I think, for what they had written in my husband's divorce papers or something similar. And it was okay because they actually put her right into lots of softball anyway, so it was difficult. It would have been difficult to have just even our weekends. We would have been just driving her to softball all the time.
hmm
And, yeah, just different upbringings. They were very much money driven and
right,
get the money, but then at the same time, they like to carry debt, which was really weird.
yeah,
Like, as long as you can make the payment, get the best job that makes you the most money, but then, get the best things too out of life as
right,
long as you make the payment. And it's like, well, what happens if you get hurt and you can't do that job that makes the most money and now you've got all this debt hanging over you?
right.
Yeah, it was just different. And then a divorce for the good is not a bad thing to come from a single parent family. Yeah, rebellious. There's a lot of trauma when it's very toxic or abusive.
There is, and that's why I got out of my relationship.
Yeah, we're
But
definitely not coming down on people who divorce. That's for sure because
yeah,
we understand. I'm the product of third marriage from my mom and a second marriage from my dad.
and
I'm
I
the only
divorced my
one.
husband because of abuse. So
Yeah,
100%, I get it. There is called for divorce.
yeah. Gave him a chance.
And I think it's
Oh,
interesting
good.
because
You. I'm glad that's settled more, honey. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
in my relationship with my ex, um, it wasn't until I divorced my husband that stories came out that the children finally felt safe enough to tell me things that were
Oh,
really going on. And
mm,
so, um,
yeah. It's hard.
sometimes, it's like they knew that they weren't going back anymore, that mommy was finally making this decision.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I was a good Christian woman. I got to make it work no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes where we get stuck. And thank God.
It's true. It's much more difficult. Like, if you really want to have that relationship with God, and of course, yeah, the good Christian, bad Christian thing always sucks.
Right.
But yeah, it's much harder on women, and also I'm sure men too, because
And
there's
there
different
was
people.
like because my ex had an aneurysm and he was partially paralyzed, that I was the bad person. And
Because
some
you were
people,
leaving somebody sick. Yeah.
I was leaving somebody sick, but they didn't know the whole story.
Yeah.
You just don't tell everybody your whole story.
No. No.
Thank God I didn't remarry that person because a
Yeah.
lot of people do. They'll remarry that person, and
Yeah. They will.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, Tennessee bushcrafter. Some of them are. That's for sure. An easy way out. And people are just, we all have our baggage, and some people aren't willing to work through and unpack their own, and they just want to go through yours
yeah,
instead.
hmm
So if you don't have two parties willing to unpack their own baggage and work at it, yeah, it's really difficult. It chose not to be. Well, I'm sorry, Q, you faced that. I'm glad though your daughter has it in her hands now to where she doesn't
Yeah,
have to.
yeah, that's good to hear. It's hard.
Yeah. It does take great courage to walk away from those situations. And especially if you're like not working a full-time job or you don't have a job. And yeah,
Yeah.
those kind of like moms, it's a really tough course because they always say, like, well, you should have just left. Well, they need a home, the mom and the child. And if the mom has a good head on her shoulders, she also knows some of the places that are offered to those mothers are just as dangerous.
When I
Uh,
look when I look back at my relationship with my ex, I should have left him long before.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it was one of those very toxic. I
Yeah.
mean, he was an alcoholic and would not get help whatsoever, and
Mhm.
just went down. In each, he went to rehab 4 times,
And
and
nothing.
would never. He always walked out of rehab in the middle of it, and
Ugh.
never followed through with anything. He lied to us about setting up therapy appointments for us. He told me that a therapist that we were going to go see as a couple,
Mhm.
he lied about it and said that the therapist canceled their appointments and said that we didn't really need therapy. Um,
Wow.
yeah, you
Wow.
know, so
Super manipulative. That's not, yeah,
yeah,
good at all.
so
Isn't helpful. Okay.
now I'm in a relationship. Hun, you think maybe you should go talk to somebody about that? Should we go
Yeah.
talk?
Right? I know. Oh my God. I remember when we were newly married and we went to for couples therapy. And m my husband back then was pretty wound, like, he's wound tight, but he was wound even tighter.
Hmm.
And the woman, after dealing with my husband in this counseling session for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes maybe,
Mhm.
and just discussing, stuff, she finally was like, "Don't you?" And she started going off at my husband. And he's like, "Well, we're not coming back here." Like, I think a bias was formed a little bit. It's a little bit less of a jerk. Maybe people wouldn't do that. Maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was what I remember from trying counseling. But we did do the Family Life Marriage Conference, which helped back
Mhm.
then, learning about how differently we think.
Mhm.
And
Spaghetti brain and all that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and just like the box brain, like him getting stuck in boxes, and it's like
yeah.
I still totally see that. Like,
My
okay,
husband's a box brain and I'm a spaghetti brain.
hmm,
I'm a rabbit
yeah,
trail.
and the files are all open and
He's
all over
like,
the
"Were you not
floor.
listening to me?" I'm like, "No, I was totally listening to you. You said this and this and this and this and this."
Yep, yep.
But what about this and this over here?
Yeah. It's awful to have spaghetti brain and then have ADHD on top of it
Yeah,
because you can't figure out where that box of spaghetti is that you just were thinking about or need to make, like, whatever you're talking about. And it gets misfiled. It's, like, totally misfiled.
right.
Not only is it seems like everything is out on the floor and open, but the files are missing too. Like, you're like, "Okay, we've got missing files here. I know there's a lot here,
And
but there's
then you're
something
stuck
missing."
on the missing files.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. My sister's ADHD too, so I get it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was watching a guy explain it, and he's like, "I never knew that most of people with ADHD, they do what I do, where it's like I have insomnia from the fibro, from the menopause, and now I realize it's chronic, like, thing for people with ADHD is they will go in and try to go to sleep, but because their brain won't shut off, they can't relax and go to sleep. So
Mm,
they will stay up really, really late until they are absolutely exhausted. So they know that when they go and lay their head down, they will sleep.
mhm.
I saw that big stretch. So
Mm.
cute.
My old man, he's got such a
Oh,
bad ear infection.
oh, yeah. Our pug used to get them really bad. But I found out with her thyroid condition, that was actually common. They never told me it was related to
Mm.
a thyroid issue, the chronic ear infections.
Huh.
But we just, I was actually crying on the phone the other day with Theron. Our little puppy gets pancreatitis. Like, it'll just hit her. She's got like
Mm.
a chronic thing. It
Yeah.
just comes on, just hits her. Well, we found out she's got like a narrowing on the way out of her pancreas, so that might be why. Like, she's
Yeah.
getting this backflow. And the vet was really happy because she saw, oh, well, I got to see the walls are thickening, so you never get that view, but there was gas there and I could see it.
Mhm.
I was like, well, that's good because we pray over that little dog like every single night. But then she said, but I did hear a heart murmur.
Oh.
Oh no. And she's like, well, it's only on a scale of like, 8, it's only like a 2. And her heart looks fine. I did a full workup. I just accidentally got her heart in there with her x-ray for her pancreas. Somehow it slipped in there. She's the best. I'm like, yeah, because she's such a small dog.
Mhm.
And she said it looked good. There's no enlargement, but it was like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's already the beginning of
That's what
that.
happened
She's
to
like 8. It's like, ugh. That's
my
what happened to which one? Your dog too?
my Boston Terrier. He had
What?
arthritis in his neck really bad. To the
Mm.
point where you couldn't like hug him or you might
Oh,
break his neck.
oh my
And
gosh.
then they were X-raying, ra- doing his neck and his lower back, and they saw his heart, and his heart wasn't huge for a little dog, and he had a heart murmur.
Mm.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she said it usually is the smaller dogs end up dealing with it.
Yeah.
I wish I could defrag my brain drive.
Good night, Ruth.
Night or good day. Have a
Good day.
lovely
Yeah.
day, Ruth.
She said good night, ladies, but
I know, I just realized that she's starting her day.
yeah,
Oh, wow, I didn't know you owned your own business. That's great, Q.
that is cool.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I knew what you were referring to. I wish I could defrag the hard drive. My problem is I defrag and I erase stuff.
Me
Just
too.
just disappears. I was like, "Oh." And
Oh
the aphasia is like, I'm getting
my
partial
goodness.
aphasia, like, "Mom, hey, look, WD Clock and Roll, good to see you."
Hey, WD. Good to see you in here.
We're
Well, it is 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's 2 here, so I know
You
it's
there?
late for you guys. Sorry, WD. You can go back and watch. We actually had deep conversations.
Oh, we had a heavy conversation there, WD.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, and some fun.
and some fun. We
Yeah,
did have some fun. But no, I mean, like, I think some of us who wanna talk about these things because it's just heavy. Right now, it's just the
it's
world is got, like, a weight on it. You can feel it.
yeah.
Gear with his early yet. Love you, Gear. Well, I'll step down. You can do your good night and
Oh, we can say goodnight together.
okay.
Good night, everybody.
Night,
We'll
have a
see
good
you
one.
later. Oh, if I can get over there.
If you hit the right button.
Bye.
Bye.